This young man's name is Ronan, a talented warrior, is a survivor. Finally, after the battle, with giants that threaten our very existence, the death of the world. Although winning, your joy is tinged with bitterness. When the entire imperial army was sacrificed, and your BA commander, Marshal Adizan, was almost disabled and lost an arm. When you end the universe, he seems to have saved the world. It's a giant force, stronger than suddenly appeared, put humanity in a desperate situation before the last breath. Addison used the power of time, a slip to take Ronan back to the past. Give me a chance to change my destiny, and become a swordsman, the strongest in history. Empire with experience from the future. Ronan is determined to change his fate, to protect the world, and prepare for the final battle, against the giants. That's a rough description. Let's go into the main content. On a cloudy day, the rain poured down like a little water. The red sky makes people somewhat creepy. The ground is quiet, only human remains. Blood is flowing all around, mixed with the rain to make the scene is more terrifying. Ronan stood in the bodies. I've been through a tough battle. You look tired and exhausted. There's almost no AI left outside of Ronan. I put my head on the sword. The sweat flowed down my face. The clothes on you are no longer healthy. Others have their swords pierced through their chest. He was shot in the back. Almost everyone has something that's not healing. Red blood flowed from their bodies. Ronan looked at all sides. Be careful with everything around you. After the battle, your eyes and mouth are bleeding. But in front of you is a whole army dead. The scene is filled with casualties, only the flag they carried stood tall. There, you said they died a lot, Ronald. It's almost exhausting. When sweat filled my face, his eyes rested on a spot of fatigue. I can't help but say damn. A sound comes out all the time, or too careless. Intuitively quick, sensitive, abnormal getting. I immediately noticed that I was looking directly below. It's a person's stomach. He's so big that it rains. That's a lot of flow forming a puddle there. He spoke in a frightening way. There is such a powerful humanity. I saw him with eyes that wanted to explode. To teeth clenched tight. Are you still alive? Ronan is standing on the belly of the giant Ahois. He looks terrible with white eyes. There are 4 horns on the head. His whole body was cut by the sword. 2 hands outstretched as if exhausted. The white wings also look very worn. Ronan stands on the Ahois, while he was squashed. Before this battle, he looked very powerful and strong. Giants Orat. Before, he and his 3 brothers went to the Empire. Was arbitrarily messed up. Where are these giants going? Thousands of people are not alive. The sea of fire killed all the bodies stacked on top of each other. 3 people have 2 horns. Some people have 3 horns, the rest are 4 horns. After appearing in the Empire 20 days ago, has arbitrarily caused chaos. He's the last of the 3 giants. Back to reality. Ronan suddenly stomped hard on Nahuse's face. The kick made water on the stomach splashed everywhere. He put 1 foot on his nose. Face to face with the giant. You're the one who's got the upper hand right now. Why are you still not dead? His feet pressed against his face, he said menacingly. Don't worry, it won't be long. I will be back with you soon. His eyes lit up, but there's no reaction to this action. You look at him with disdain. Your dead friends are waiting for you. With actions that humiliate you, or you doesn't seem to care. But as soon as he heard Ronan's words, he reacted. Why did 2 people come to him? I remember the death of those 2. I'm not happy either. One became a giant, fried by long chained. And the other one is sealed, forever by an old man named Loria Kist. Ronan finished speaking as if satisfied with his words. His eyes are wide, looking at the guy with the mouth, laughing with pleasure. Even if the sweat is still on your face, and the clothes don't heal, but your looks still make people enjoy. Do you understand, you idiot? But I don't want to hear you. Don't hide the truth. Powerful humanity. Ronan was obviously surprised by his words. The rain is still fake. Drops fall down the thin hair. Tooth tables clench together. Or still raise your voice. I know those enemies. They were buried with them. And his low and eerie voice still echoed. That means strong people like you. It no longer exists. Although he's a giant, put your back on the ground and let. Ronan stepped on you and you look more powerful. Giant guy. To hear the words of Orat is ridiculous. He sneered contemptuously, saying, I'm still alive. What are you talking about? Your words are sharp. But he still noticed the gap. His eyes widened and began to refute. Don't talk before you walk. I know your time is running out. I'm pretty happy but. His feet pressed against his face. Or you don't care. Keep talking. If you recognize your skills early and focus. By training, you have become a curse. Great concern for our wishes. Seems to have been hit by Ronald's black heart. He gritted his teeth angrily and bowed his face. So far you have. Your face is gone, smile, your mouth is down. My eyes are cold towards the bottom. No longer want to hide. You say everything about yourself. That's right, you don't need to say it. I also know that my life is miserable. So shut up and die. He heard that his face did not change. You say you are a great human being. You have the right to be proud. Take up your sword. I don't want to pay attention to his words. But Ronan's power seems to have reached its limit. The deep breaths echo endlessly. Hughes said, after all, your world. He said he would soon be drowned and disappear. Don't let him continue. You hit Hughes hard on the ground. On his neck he jumped down and slashed a powerful sword. That's where the sword strikes. There's a big light. His head flew away. Along with that are the lands that flew up Thea because of the shock of the sword. Through the hole in the horn, the light in the sky also shines. Such a painful death. Maybe I can't believe it. The head fell to the ground. After killing the surviving giant. You turn around again. Look at the back. There is nothing left in the body. This boss planted on top of each other. Ronan's eyes added some cold indifference. Looking down at a fulcrum below. The fake rain keeps falling. Mixed with the blood that's been lying on the ground for a long time. That scene looks so bleak. For a long time I was wondering. What do you want me to do with what happened? Ronald walked away with empty thoughts. Foot in a puddle of red water. Make the water form a vortex. Ronald's body was worn out and seemed to be about to faint. Here I try. Step by step in the despair that's slowly taking over the body. But it's like seeing something unexpected. Ronaldo suddenly raised his eyes while the mouth still breathes rosy. The past appears. You were in the army then. With his teammates. They are all tall and healthy. They also say laugh happily. Only Ronaldo is a little smaller. You seem quiet and difficult to get along with people. Even though everyone is friendly. Ronaldo noticed a friend next door. He's smiling back at Ronan. This person has a scar, long eyes and hair split into two. Maybe he's the one who brought Ronan. Get along better with everyone. Then they went to the battlefield to fight together. It is also considered as a partner in birth and death. We are always together on every journey. But in this tough fight, you're dead. A sword that pierced through the armor. And stabbed it in the stomach. Blood shot out everywhere. It makes you panic yourself. But there's no time. Your eyes stopped at one point. You're all here. Ronan stopped at a place where the body. Your teammates are stacked on top of each other. They all have death. It's very painful to get a sword through. Ronan's best friend. I'm lying in front of you with no breath. You die without closing your eyes. That scene makes people desperate. More than anything else. I swear to you stupid bastards. Ronan knelt in pain from his body. Me Tan Soul. Why are you so proud to fight to the death? If you think I'm strong, you're strong. He reached down to close his friend's eyes. This may be Ronan's last act. I can do it for you. This guy must know if the situation runs away. Ronan's fools are still kneeling there and blaming themselves. Blame your teammates. Why? The giants can turn against the Aura sword. The most powerful empire. Why is it only my sword that fights them? He stared at his friend. The feeling of guilt kept gnawing at Ronan's soul. Even if you make no mistake. I said if it wasn't for that. Then sure, a human resources soldier like me has to go to the front. And you're not going to die either. Ronan's eyes were filled with despair. I sat down in a pool of blood. Through a life and death battle that's left only me. Ronan survived. The last one who stayed was the one who hurt the most. Suddenly in the dark. Then a voice appeared again. Is there anyone there? Because of that voice he suddenly raised his head in surprise. Two round eyes. Someone said. I'm injured so I can't move. That person's sound makes you a little familiar. It's like this voice recognizes something. The surprise is in your eyes. You're still trying to get help, Ronan. Immediately put the sword on the ground. Find the owner of the voice. He stood up screaming for the one she was still alive. Ronan took a hard step forward. The pain makes you grind your teeth. As if I had found the one I was looking for. His eyes stopped at one point. I ran into the distance and there was a girl who was seriously injured. This person is Adiza Nakaluja. I'm glad to see you. Your face showed a smile, and you're still alive. He said to the commander. Adiza Nakaluja wearing a ragged outfit. She's sitting on a big rock, covered in blood. Tired face to see. You said Adizan. Handicapped Ronald gritted his teeth helplessly. I don't know what to do. He slowly approached her and asked. What happens to leadership? Our talent is like this. So Adizan couldn't help but be surprised that he was still alive. You told Ronan you weren't just a corporal. You yourself are not that strong. She remembered something more serious to ask. Or is it dead? Ronan replied, yes, I killed him. His body is lying not far away. Look at Adizan breathed a sigh of relief. This, to Ronald's surprise, he didn't know what she was asking him to do. Suddenly Adizan's tears rolled down her cheeks and she muttered. He's dead. She was crying and thanking me. Thank you very much, Corporal Ronan. He looked quietly, his commander-in-chief. I can't believe someone as cold as her has a day. Sitting there crying, Ronald held up a thumb. If you were so grateful. Is it possible to meet one of my requirements? Hear that Adizan wondering request. Tell me again. To deal with the bodies of Kia's loyal soldiers. Normally as per the rules, they will be burned or thrown away. But this time, can you order the exam? Maybe they're a little nicer. She looked at me for a moment and said. I'm not sure about that. Now I'm more broken than you. So you take care of them yourself. It's not better than Sao. Ronan had just finished, and they were in command. How dare I? Tools, tools. You show me your bloody hands, see? It's no better than you are. Rona looked at the blood from her mouth. I could die at any time now. You're full of regret. Most of the time, I just walk around. I can't do anything, soul. And now I've been forced into a hole like this. God is so unfair. Edison asked him. If you survive, is there anything you want to do? He replied with a smile. It was a lot. Ronald looked up at the sky. The only thing I can think of right now is... I wonder. I don't know what it's like to go to the academy. You wonder about the academy. Ronald remembered the memory of when he fought well. Named Giant, that son of a bitch said a few words that kept me thinking. It's more important that you keep talking. Ronald said, it's because of my sister's last wish. They want me to go to the academy. I sigh, but I'm sorry. Maybe in a few minutes I'll be reunited. With family. Edison tried to save the situation and reassure him. When the rain stops, the rescue team will start searching. Ronan is calm. I told you I'm listed as missing persons. Why do you keep talking? Ronan was quiet for a moment, wait a minute and say useless things. Suddenly the rain began to stop. The sun's light was coming out. The commander-in-chief and Ronan suddenly startled. What are you looking at? The rain has stopped. Edison is not out of question. The storm suddenly stopped. Now the ground starts to shake. An earthquake happened. Both panicked and didn't know what was going on. What's wrong with Ronan? I suddenly discovered something. An 8-winged monster with light. Glaring out. Ronan shouting 8 squirt. Not only that, hundreds of monsters also appeared. Ronald panicked. What the hell is that? They've just crawled out of nowhere. Seeing the scene in front of me, Edison is powerless. 3 giants is not the end of Sao. Her voice trembled 7. In the end, I couldn't save the world. 3 times, and Edison desperately deduces enough. There's only one chance left. I suddenly couldn't think of anything else. A voice boomed across her thinking circuit. Commander Ronan yelled at the commander-in-chief to wake her up. I yelled at you for being made. You have to control your own emotions. Use your psychic powers. Or something threw me up on Kia. My sword on the ground can't reach you. They'd. She was stunned for a moment, and he continued to shout. Are you not going to destroy them? Edison shocked. In this situation, you're still going to fight. Ronan couldn't help but look at her. Are you kidding me? You're just sitting there waiting to die. I'm serious, but even if I die. Ronan pulled out his sword and continued. I also have to get my wings. All these barbarians down, Edison thought. He's come to this country and he hasn't given up yet. You know, you realize something, right? That's what he is. If not, how far can we go? To this day. I thought if it was him. Before your determination to fight, Edison treats people in a moment. She put her hand on Corporal Ronan's shoulder. What did you turn your head to? You seem annoyed. I'm very busy and I dance a little. Suddenly she came. Give me a burning kiss. It makes you numb. What was Ronan thinking about from Edison's mouth? A green jewel is infused into your mouth. You're so suspicious of what you put in my mouth. She came close to his ear. He whispered something. Ronan was horrified when he heard that. I try to hear what you're going to say. Ronan pushes Edison out. The situation is already like this. What the hell are you talking about? Did you call Corporal Ronan? Edison asked Ronan if we could meet again. Can you tell me? Don't try to do stupid things. Just be a tailor. These words startled Ronan. Now I know how much work I've done. She looked at him smiling. It's never been tried before. Ronan thought for a moment. 2. Keep your eyes on you. A flaming 8 monster summons power. He aimed straight at the 2 people in front of him. Immediately a terrible explosion occurred. The jewel of Edison glowed and vanished into nothingness. Ronald opened his eyes and woke up. Learn you utter total. Commander Ronald shouted out her name, Commander-in-Chief. But the serene scene in front, I can't help but be surprised. I'm surprised you can't. This place could be. Under your hands is the green meadow. Ronan stood up in a panic. You can't believe your eyes, you're old Nimbutin. I really went back to the past. At this time, the notification system panel pays special attention. First day regression. To accept BA under the root. Ronan sat leaning against the tree and sighing. One hand holding my forehead, 7 eyes because of what happened. The Commander-in-Chief's words are true. Remember that fateful moment. Ronan was horrified by Edison's actions. 2 lips together she gave him a jewel. This made Ronan ask in a panic. What are you putting in my mouth? You seem very calm about the next one. My plan, she explained. What you just swallowed was a jewel. You can turn back time. But Attila looked at me with serious eyes. Enough to make the words you're about to say more reliable. That's why someone who used to be an idiot like me can climb to the position of Commander-in-Chief. Although this jewel allows you to go back in time 4 times, but I've used it 3 times. So there's only one chance. Aiden's eyes closed. Has become softer as the substance I hope for you and your helplessness. So I'll give it to you. The power that can kill giants. Know yourself well, you and Ronan. We can't deal with giants like we do now. You keep whispering in my ear. I believe you are the factor, the key to stopping the destruction of this world. So you need to practice your skills. I'm glad you want to. I can't believe the empty words the day before made a decent remember. What are you panicking about? I'm just saying shit. Let me deny it. If you want to learn, go to the Philippine Academy. There are excellent people there, so I'm sure it'll be useful to you. Back to reality. Ronan grinds his fucking teeth. The more you think, the more angry you are. If it's a dream, wake up. Even if I go back to the past, what can I do alone? Suddenly Ronan's eyes widened in wonder. Like I remember something. Wait, this is the past. With the thought that comes to mind, hold the wood next to you. Then Ronan stood up and looked straight at the monster. My feet fluttered step by step on the green meadow. Finally he ran fast with a wooden stick. I'm so glad I could meet you. Under the scorching Chan sun, Ronan with a stick rushed through the crowd. Thinking about seeing my sister again, my heart is eager. Your face is also more cheerful. If I really come back, just a little more. Suddenly, Ronan Vas eyes must be something that surprised you. From a distance, Han's group of people are bullying. I can't help but scold those bastards. Looking at the victim's writhing face, Ronan wondered, why did you hang a child upside down? I decided to ignore it. I don't want to get involved in this or being so used to Han's dishonest actions. They haven't changed a thing. But just turning around, Ronald discovered something strange. Wait, that kid wasn't hanging with a rope, he was hanging with some magic. The appearance of someone who knows how to use magic in this remote part of the world that confuses me. Why is someone so valuable? Rarely seen on the battlefield. And yet it shows up in the countryside. Remember the important thing, I cried out in wonder. I remember this time, they must have been there. The atmosphere around Asil became overcast. He trembled and his face became afraid. How long are they going to do this? If this goes on, something's going to happen to that kid. The child was hanging upside down and praying, please. Stop it. A leg wrapped around a magical glow. He was crying and begging. I really don't have any money. My mother's medicine is expensive this month. His poor condition was not touched. Han's compassion. He was laughing. What do you want me to do? Why should I worry about your mother's health? For a moment, Han's face stiffened, and his hands held high. Every word that comes out is a slap in the face. Make the child's face contorted. If you are a good boy, you should have made more money. Suddenly Han stopped and looked at Asil. He ordered this guy still doesn't know what. Take it up to the top of the tree, Asil, it's freaking out. You hesitate, I can't do that. If I pull it higher, I miss it. Slip hand Han annoy voiced. It's not like girls are so scared. You're not hanging it up. He's close to the warning voice, shut up and pull it up quickly. Asil before you hang with it. Asil law face pale scared. Your eyebrows clenched together in the confusion of the current situation. Why did it turn out this way? Learning magic was a mistake. Recall the moment. You're happy to perform magic in front of people. He said he just wanted to show everyone. I'm good at something too. The hands that were performing magic trembled violently. You bite your conscience. I have to tell him I can't do it. But Dad. Axel frowned, his eyes watery, and he was scared. Do you bite your lower lip and cheer yourself up? I still have to say raw. While Han and his gang eagerly await. You shiver, please. The moment Axel said, please stop. That's when a wooden stick is swinging at you. Ronan after giving you a blow to the head. I told you to stop, asshole. Kill it now. Magic is cut off in the middle. The light around the bow's feet also disappeared. Lost. It crashed to the ground to Han's surprise. He's angry. What are you doing? Han lowed towards Asil. Don't forget to raise your fist and threaten. He said stop. You stop. I thought I was kidding you or something. Do you have a cringe? I didn't mean to. Suddenly Ronald stood in front of him. Speak up calmly. Asil. Don't worry about that piece of shit. And talk to me. Asil realized that the person who had just hit him was the AI. Ronan, I don't care about Han behind me. Keep talking. Now I have something to tell you. Han is angry at being seen as heir. Hey, asshole, is that real? I wonder where you learned that teleportation magic. Rachel honestly shared. I studied in a ghost book. Bought from a hawker stall. Your answer made Ronan surprised and admired. Learn from a cheap ghost book that's so good. I'm so excited, I'll see more. But with this in the face of giants. A long sword is slowly being drawn. Accompanied by a crisp sound. with skills as well as battlefield experience. Ronan just heard that. This sound. Look at Han in the long sword handle. I'm surprised, the sword is so wide that you dare ignore me. Han's eyes were like flames. Blue veins floating around his forehead. He brings up old stories. It seems that since I deliberately lost to you, then you've become arrogant. He just finished his words. He held the sword and hurried towards me. I screamed, but today I will correct you. The danger is approaching, but Ronan is calm. He looked at the sword that was hurtling towards him. Where did this real sword come from? Bad posture, but he's strong enough to claim to be around. You gently lean back. Avoid Han's slash. In my pride. Of course there's nothing wrong with me. His eyes are amazed. His expression was a little uneasy as he watched Ronald easily dodge the blow. It's so easy to avoid. I'm happy with my body's reflexes. In my mind. Even though my body is young, some things are the same. Something that's attached to your body when you're a disciplinarian. Intuitive fighting. So as not to reveal the insecurities of the moment, Han made fun of himself. I was going to make you unable to lift the spoon. For the rest of my life. Ronan sounds like he doesn't want to pair, does he? I am lucky today even though I have been unlucky all my life. He didn't give up on Ronan's subjugation. Han continued to raise his sword in warning. Then you kneel down and pray. Then I will spare your life. Of course you only have one hand. Words do no damage to the psyche. You're so sarcastic. Didn't seem to realize Ronan's careless behavior. Han continued. If I kill you, I will definitely treat your sister well. I heard him mention his sister. Ronan immediately asked sternly. You said you were on this side. Han jokingly replied yes. Every time I see her, we all think our buttocks are tight if we. Don't wait for Han to finish. Your face is far away. The scary eyes directly swung the wooden stick forward. The blood shot up in the air. Han stood stunned, as if I didn't understand what just happened to me. Look at one side, you're soaring in the air. Is he shocked? The long sword fell sharply to the ground. Tai bar tai. The bone pain goes too. Han shouted in horror. He hugged one side of his head, painful moaning. Tai tai ta, make the subordinates in the back blue-faced. A pair of brown shoes came towards him. Accompanied by a cold voice, Ronan's face was dark. I almost shouted at the son of a bitch. Ronan rolled his eyes so furiously that the blue tendon popped up. Do you want to die? For in the vacant lot. The thugs stood watching Ronan beat Han Tae-tua. They're afraid to say that's possible. He cut off that guy's ear. On a wooden stick. The red-tinted roof flowed to the ground with that wooden fold. You made them panic. Those bastards are so happy to watch. Ronald kicked Han with his foot. Made him cry out in pain. If you don't want to be like this bastard, let's get our hands together. Yet Ha, afraid to hold the wound on the head, is bleeding profusely. Of course, remember to leave the money you stole. To compensate for my mental damage. When they heard you say that, they agreed. We will return it. Ronan returned the stolen money to him. It made him very indifferent. Here's yours. This is. He was wondering if you really gave me your socks. This place is more than they stole from me. No, that's all I need. He was so happy, he was crying, holding his bag tight. Don't worry about them getting revenge or something. They don't have the guts to hang around here anymore. Thank you. You're so good. Ronald waved his hand as if it were a small thing. You're welcome, just go home. Axel stood in the middle clenching his hands so shy. You said I really please. Axel bowed his head and apologized to him. I'm sorry, you remember being scared of Rossau. I know I shouldn't have done that. Even Han threatened me. Axel cried tears, but I was scared. So there's nothing I can do. It's all my fault, I'm so sorry. He breathed out a smile. Axel, you were wet again when Han brought you here. When I saw you, I thought. You must be in the same situation as me. He put his hand on a seal's shoulder to comfort a seal. Don't blame yourself like that. It's not your fault that he smiled brightly. But I still accept your heart. He bent over and hugged his pocket and left. Axel said goodbye to him as well. Ronaldo's eyes looked down. Axel, in your eyes like a lovely kind girl. Yeah. Ronald grinned. Yeah, she's so NDTO. He whistled softly at Axel's shoulder that startled him. Hey, remember I said I had something to talk to you about? Ronald turned to tell you. Okay. We'll meet back here in 4 days. 4 days later. The SEO turned around and asked Ronan what he was doing. I have a job now. See you later. When the moon rises, take out your sword and look. SEO with warning eyes that scare you. Blue face, of course, if you don't come. You know what the consequences are. You run fast, leaving a SEO alone doesn't know what to say. Then I'll go. If you're late, you're dead. If you hear that, ignore Ra. Deep in the forest there is a small house. Ronan at the door. The sun is shining on you. Make your shadow on the door. Ronan brings a bunch of fresh pink flowers. Is Ho doing too much? I remember she liked flowers. I see whatever flowers I pick. I'm afraid to throw away the flowers. I knew I should throw them away. The bungalow opened the door with one pair of feet. I wonder who's outside. It turned out to be Sao Ronan, and Ronald glanced back. You're back. When I was a soldier, I always thought, I don't know what to say when I see her again. So sorry for leaving without a word. Or say I miss her so much. I always think about today. And that's all the words of the disciplined soldiers Ronald can say. Yes, Iron gave a radiant smile. All I can say is, I came home so early today. I stood in front of her words. Ronald held the bouquet and bowed his head. Yeah, I'm home. The meal was prepared by Iron on a full table. Oh my. I can't believe you lived to the day. She hugged the flower in her happy smile. My brother gave it to me coldly. Sister Ronan, Iron. Ronan shouted with joy. It's too much fun, I like it. She wants more food for Ronan. But I was rejected by you. My dear brother, is that enough to eat? Get me some more casserole. Thanks, but that's it. Ronaldo looked at Iron in wonder. But I have a question to ask. How old are you this year, Ronaldo? But why do you ask? I hesitated to answer, because suddenly I forgot. I forgot my sister's age. Iron stood up anxiously. Are you hurt, or do you have a fever? If she's 22 years old. 15 more and those bastards will come. She came up and put her hand on Ronan's forehead. I don't think you have a fever. As I thought this sister was still the same. He looked dumbfounded at Arrow's nervous expression. Still smiling and kind. Are you sure you're still warm and well? I wish this moment would last forever. Ronan's hand touched the Arrow's hand. But 15 more. To protect the world and her. I held her hand down. I have something to tell you. Ronan informed her, let her know. I'm going to join the academy. Iron looked at me and asked, Sao Academy? Iron's eyes lit up when he heard you say that. Iron is happy to cry again. Are you serious? Oh yeah, I'm telling the truth. And every time you mention it, I don't want to hear anything. Ronald broke down when he saw her actions. Can't wait. Yeah. Arrow 6. Throw up everything in the house. She just searched and said. I know this day will come. You're smart. I'm sure you'll be good at everything. I want to. Oh. Thank you, Arrow. Arrow put a pot on the ground. So this is. Both of you look inside the big pot. A surprise gift for you. This is. Inside the pot is a pile of gold coins. How much money? I secretly saved it to surprise you. Rona looked at the gold coins in disbelief. If you don't change your mind about the academy case, I want to pay for your education too. You've been so good since you started this. You keep talking, but I'm grateful, but I want you to spend this money. This isn't enough, I mean. Two iron hands on hips looking at Ronan. That's it, but a lot. I don't know where you're going to study, but the Royal School. Filian Academy. She was surprised when you say the name of the school you're going to. A scream tying ear cried out from the log house, echoing through the forest. What is the foundation of the Philippine Imperial Academy? The best avant-garde educational institute in the whole empire, with the most famous professors in all 6 places. And with that, there's a lot of money, from the great families of the empire. This is a place for students, the best educational opportunity. Enough prestige to be called the factory that produces raw the heroes. The reputation of this place is enormous. General Adizan. Master Swordsman Shulliv. The worst criminal, the Ice Witch, and so on. People from the Philippines. It was quite useful during the war. Useful so much so that I can understand why the general. I mentioned it for myself. In the dark forest. Ronan was wearing a backpack and walking alone. With such a high input standard. And with that comes a huge fee. It's a problem that it's so famous. I think about Iron. But think about that reaction of hers. If I were Ronan, I could. Made Ronan's footsteps stop. Your eyes show your determination. I'll show her the results. A pair of feet standing in Ronan's way. I didn't know you would be here before. Axel stepped out from behind the tree. Axel, that's not Axel, that's Axel. When he saw Ronan, he became confused. And you said you wouldn't leave me alone if I didn't come, so forget about it. You take off your backpack. We're going to be very busy tonight. And there's something I need to check on you. Ronald threw his backpack to the ground. To give a test. I held out my hand so Axel didn't understand. What did you say spontaneously? Well, it's not much. Ronald smiled and pointed to himself. Use your psychic powers on me. Axel, lift me up to the best of your ability. When he finished listening, his face was covered in sweat. I used that power naturally. Asil confusingly asked Ronan again. Why do I have to do such a dangerous thing? It's not that dangerous. First, do as I say, let's go. Okay, first do as I say, let's go. He held out his hand in front of him with a shy expression. I can't die, so don't be afraid. Then, it's a blue light coming out of your hands. I'll start later. Assel shouted his hand towards Ronan, who was standing. The invisible hand. I was surprised to see the lights around me. The light flowed around Ronan's feet. Make your feet fly. Look, it's much better. But Ronald was floating in the air laughing excitedly. More than I thought. Even though there's a lack of altitude and balance. This feeling is still very similar to that time, in battle with the 2Us. That's what made me able to fight as a peer with that bastard. It's spiritual power. Spiritual power is a rare ability. It's even counted as rare among the 5 wizards. What this means, he will become one of the most important factors to be able to assist in the battle against a Hoat. Let's start like this. Assel closed his eyes shivering and told Ronan and DTO. Ronan, it's getting a little hard for me to control. He drew his sword from above and looked at Assel. Can you come down now? Hold on a little more. I have one more thing to check. Assel frowned worried for Ronan. I'll get down to what you mean by so. Ronan raised his sword high. You slash a hole in the air. Isel rolled her eyes when she saw his actions. What is this? Ronan jumped from the sky without getting Sao. Ronan just cut his monoline Sao. He asked Ronan what he had done. What did you just do? You're welcome. It's just an acrobatic way of moving that I've known how to do since forever. One of his punches went straight to Axel's head. What do you mean by aerobically moving? This is the first time I've seen anyone cut the monoline. Let it go because I don't know why. Ronald pulled back his sword. I thought I'd find out what this skill is. It's a whole page of homework that I have to do. The sword reflects the image of a giant. Alright, the reason his sword had an impact on him. Maybe that's why Sao. I can think about this slowly. So now Ronald picked up his backpack. There's work to be done. Whatever it is, you've already passed it. Axel and Assel picked up a bag that he answered. Take this and follow me. Before the moon completely disappears, there's something we need to do. He grinned and said late at night like this. What do you mean? Under the moon Ronan's eyes glowed. This could be the first page. In Ronan's autobiography. It's the greatest book in the whole empire. You shine from the moon down and into the murky forest. There's only Axel and Ronan in the forest, the Filian Academy. You're walking and breathing hard. I hear you wrong, Ronan. We're going to the Filian Academy, where it's all members. The elite of the empire was there. Ronald glanced at Assel to answer his question. You and I believe it, so don't ask again. It's too much trouble. He looked at Assel's face and asked again. Why don't you want to go? No, that's not the point. You are confused to answer. You're talented in martial arts, so you should be fine. But I don't know anything. Ronan's eyes looked at Axel. To turn aggressive. Besides, I'm both cowardly and misguided, Axel. You want to continue living like that. It startled you to hear that. Assel froze when she heard what Ronan said. With his inherent talent, you're wasting it by making fun of the world. Is that really the life you want? Ronan crossed his arms in front of his chest and closed his eyes. To be honest, you have a really stupid kind of mindset. You're cowardly and you're wrong. Ronan's words, like a knife to Axel's chest. You become a crying baby and cry for all kinds of reasons, and you're a scared 7. But that's okay. Because you can still change from now on. But, the time that's gone can't be taken back. And one day, you'll regret it. The way I used to be. Image. Ronan holds a bloodstained sword in the middle of the battlefield. In my previous life. He put his hand on Axel's shoulder. What do you think? Have you changed your mind, Ronan? Suddenly your cheeks are red. Oh, my God, Ronan. Axel covered his mouth with his hand. You look at me with very emotional eyes, worried about someone like me. That's all the time. I won't force you because this is your life. So if you want, you can go back to that lifestyle. Then Axel screamed as he watched Ronaldo turn his back on him. I'm busy now, so wait, Ronaldo. I want to change again. Ronaldo smiled when he heard that. I'm going to Philly with you. So teach me what I need to do. On the outside you don't care, but in my heart I am glad. Okay, this is the first time you show your masculinity, Assel. So for the first step of the great masculine Assel. Let's start right away. Ronan's face was visibly haunted and gloating. When I turned my back on you, as I predicted. The fire made the surrounding air very warm. Assel was alarmed to see the light in the forest. Ronan with Assel hiding in the bushes whispered to each other do. Ronan, that's it. That's my first step, of course. Next to the fire is a goblin. That's the best opponent I've ever found. To be able to bring all of your talents raw. The goblin is resting on a large rock. It's a moon goblin. There are a lot of babies around. She's lying on the sleeping ground. He's also the leader. Ronald laughed like a flower, banging on Assel's shoulder, cheering him on. When you look at the situation like that, you are scared. What do you think, Assel? Not very great, somehow. Ronald's eyes lit up as if he had found his prey. Let's get started, shall we? Adorable 6. Ronan and Assel snooping in the grass. Moon love. Goblins often appear in this area. Most people easily distinguish between them with normal goblins, through yellow skin and deformed body. But the real characteristic of the moon is, they're especially crazy about gold and all kinds of jewels. They like to ambush traders and rob them. They collect all the stolen items in one place. And hold a festival. The light of jewels glowed in the night sky. On a full moon night like today. Assel trembled with fear when he heard it. So the real reason we're here is to be right. As Ronan's face showed interest. We're going to steal all that gold and silver. Assel looked at the situation and said, I've never heard of it. Goblin, put all the treasures in one place and celebrate. He opened the empty backpack inside Ra. But how do you know that? I have my own way. I can't tell her I saw her in a previous life, while wandering around. Axel's arm around his shoulder confused him. You just need to use your control. From my distance, just put all that treasure in this bag. While they are still asleep. It's easy for two people to face each other, isn't it? It doesn't sound easy. If I make a mistake, can wake them up. Assel thought of the prospect of the goblin waking up. That's a big problem. You're afraid to ask Ronan again, which makes you very upset. This is too dangerous. We should think about it. You're such a coward. Ronan started explaining the theory to Assel. To get into the Filian Academy, we need two things. The first is money. We need to pay those crazy tuition fees. The second is practical experience. Money is a problem, but experience is more important. You know, in Philly, it's all precious. They have been trained professionally since birth. Do you want to beat those guys? There's only one way, Axel. You threatened Axel. It was a risk. The goblins are a perfect match. We'll get both money and experience. One arrow hits two targets. ASEO sat down crying into Rose. I said, wrong, or do you have a better idea? No, just decide. I'll give you a pat on the back. Let's develop. The moon shines on the foliage in the forest. Gold things are flying in the air. And then it fell straight into the bag that Ronan had already opened. More and more things fall into the box, a little bit more. Just a little more. Assel eye bulge. She used her best to move things into her pocket. Okay. Just like that. Listening to Ronan's orders, the items immediately fall down. I laughed when I saw each one in my pocket. That's great. Ronan looked inside the bag. This is the last bag. 2 bags are full of pressure. The gold and silver treasures are all full. Ronald was delighted. He turned Axel's head like a crow's nest. I said Axel's experience is number 1. That's right, we did it. Ronald looked at him, smiling with satisfaction. I'm actually not that confident about how quickly she's adapted. Assel gave a satisfied smile. She's smarter than I thought she was. You don't know behind your back. Ronald smiled like the devil. I found the wrong guy. He put his hand in his pocket and said, okay, the bags are full of gold. Really, it's done. Ronan answered you with a bag. There's nothing else to do, come back. Before trouble comes. A crow rushed forward. The poachers are chasing that damn crow. They're screaming, you 2 little kids. Ronan with Axel. When he got ready to go, he heard a scream. Should look back. Stay there. Ronan wondered. What kind of crazy people are buzzing in the middle of the night like this? Because the sound is too loud. So it made the goblin leader wake up. What's going on? It's looking towards the ocean. The treasure is this late. Where's that nose? Goblin. All the treasures in the ocean are gone. What is this? Where are my precious jewels? So he screamed. Wake up, the rest of you. They started to gather together. Where are the thieves? Where are they? The head goblin found out. They looked at Ronan and Assel left. 2 people confused. Then the goblins found out. The goblins roared furiously. They rushed towards the 2. It's not okay, Assel, I'm scared. You're so scared that you fall to the ground. Ronan saw that and prepared his posture. Be ready to fight. I knew right away it couldn't be done. He sat on the ground looking up at Ronan. Axel trembled with fear. You desperately ask me now, so Ronan. Should we throw these bags away and run? There's no such thing. Slowly draw your sword. What kind of tuition are you going to pay without this money? How are you going to make this money? But it doesn't matter now. The goblins are coming. Their eyes were red as if they wanted to eat fresh. Swallow Ronan and Axel alive. You screamed to hang on to Ronan. They came, men, they came, Ronan. I looked at my sword thinking. A forged longsword. From this inexpensive metal with this weight and hardness. Ronan's eyes were on the sharp blade. It will probably cut 15 times. They have about 30. Their sharp nails rush towards you. Asshole in the back, Ronan shouted. Ronan's eyes darkened. He held up his sword and felt the situation around him. Careful, 15 puffs. Ronan pulled out his sword. With a single stroke of the sword, you cut off the goblins' heads. The blood from their heads is spilling. Axel rolled his eyes in wonder. Watch the goblins' heads leave her. Ronan's sword is covered in their blood. Ronan's eyes were sharp. It's like a wolf hunting. There are 14 more. Except 7. The crows screamed their hoax in the late night. The sword was finally launched at the same time. Ronan breathed out an hour. This is the last one. It's not that hard. Axel looked at the scene in front of her and couldn't believe it. It's impossible. I just witnessed something like this. Think back to Ronan's last ecstasy. You're very surprised. He cut off the heads of 3 goblins. With a sword. And there's goblins coming from the distance. Ronan had just disappeared and reappeared in an instant. Just a few swords. Ronan was lightning quick to deal with the bad goblins. Axel couldn't help but swallow. I can see the shadow in the distance. Axel is a little agitated. I can't believe I saw a scene like this again. Ronan turned to Axel. What are you doing? Continue to sit in poetry. Axel was then startled. Sorry, I don't know. He picked up the sword and Ronan said, I'm not sorry. Bring your own stuff. Laughing about going home. The night covers the silent forest. Group. Ronan is still on his way to a new location. Clapping my aching shoulder. You are really tired. I thought you two could travel comfortably. Who expected this to be so difficult? Axel next door is not much better. Put your hands on your shoulders. Ronan is thinking. There are some goblins. And my muscles are aching. I'm still growing up. Go home, I have to increase my physical exercise. Then an SEO asked Ronan. What was that horrible scream? Ronan replied, I don't know. I thought I heard 7 screams. I don't know where it came from. The plan to steal their stuff was foiled. I'm not happy to say it's midnight. I don't know what else. Those crazy people just wait. I will definitely make them. You have to pay for your behavior. You don't notice. Now there's an arrow pointing at them. Immediately, the red arrow was launched without warning. It's flying very fast towards Axel. But when you feel something, you come back. The arrow was about to hit me. As fast as lightning, Ronan reacted. Hold the arrow with your hand before Axel could move. You scream. Damn it. Axel is now aware of the situation. She was afraid to shout an arrow out. Where did this thing suddenly come from? Ronan said cautiously. Maybe it's from the damned forest. Why are there so many crazy people there? Suddenly I caught to people's eyes. There are 2 strangers behind it. Who are you two? What does the black-haired guy say? It's people and it's kids. Quick words irritate Ronaldo successfully. He laughed and walked towards Ronaldo. Sorry, kids. We saw something rustling in the distance. I thought it was a monster. He just said. Keep your eyes on Ronaldo's bag full of treasure. He's guilty. Oh, my God. We almost killed a man. And then I'll flash my eyes again, and I'll signal with the name behind me. He seems to care about the pain. But before I could finish, Ronan cut me off. You expose. Bullshit. You can't even hide your eyes anymore. I was quickly exposed by 2 bewildered men. Ronan continued. Stop the nonsense and answer. His eyes flashed a yellow light that looked extremely dangerous. Who are you threatening? 2 guys look at that look and get goosebumps. Let's shout for an hour. The black-haired guy's trying to be harmless. Laughing towards Ronan. It's really our fault to think about it. We forgot to introduce Xiao Sorry Kid. We just said he snuck out the sword. Then swung towards Ronan screaming to introduce the Calibero. Ronan muttered Calibero. Then, as fast as lightning, he held up his fist. Take his arm and make him cry out in pain. Then quickly throw a hook under the jaw. Make him roll his eyes and spray blood. Ronan made fun of the name of the shit. The blonde saw her friend being taken down quickly. Go up the son of a bitch. Axel stood on one side watching. When you see it, you call out your name. Ronan uses his magic at the same time. She screamed warning of danger. Then you use the invisible hand, controlling the blonde. I can see my body is not moving. He screams something he can move. And Ronald said, oh, Axel. You praised me for doing well. And then kicked the knife out of the blonde's hand with a shot. Quickly grab the knife. Then you unleash invisible slashes. The blonde hasn't realized anything yet. His body received a series of slashes. He can only say that you are a... I can't finish the sentence yet. He collapsed with a cry of pain. Watch the body fall in front of you. Asil startled Dan cry. You're afraid to ask Ronan, is he dead? Ronan calmly reply, dead Sao. I have to spare my life for those who want to kill me. You didn't listen to what they were saying. They're Calibro ACO. He explained, let's go poaching. Abduction of live traitors. That group of people can commit any crime. It's the most vicious criminal group in the Empire. So you know. You said you gave the black guy a knife. Death. If it wasn't for me, your organs would have been damaged. Take it. Today will also be your secret day of mourning. Asil helplessly couldn't refute anything that screamed. That doesn't let you go on. Ronan said he knew who they were. But let them continue to live and to sin. It's stupid. Suddenly the bag moved. Ronan just told Axel. Stop messing around and get your stuff. The bag jumped up and made him stop. I saw the bag constantly moving. Ronan's wondering what's wrong with this bag. Why does it move? Axel replied that the two Kia brought it here. Is it a hunted animal? I took off Ronan's bag and I was speculating. We'll open the bag right here. Just open the bag. Suddenly, there are blue eyes looking at you. A black shadow soared up, accompanied by the sound of the forest. You can make two people react. I looked at the strange blue bird in front of me. The two of you clumped together, Ronald stammered. What's wrong with this chicken? The blue chicken has 8 feathers, it's blue. The chicken didn't understand what Ronan was talking about. It's called Chip, Chip. Axel admires Tahans watching it excitedly, says Ronan. It was the first time I saw a green bird. You answer me, too. But those handcuffs are Calibro SAOs. A sturdy handcuff made of iron shows up. Hunting cuffs of Calibro. It confuses mana and restrict the movement of the handcuffed person. Ronald pondered. I thought they rarely used it, or just use it when catching magical creatures. So maybe the blue bird. Ronald cast a spell on the green bird. It's flying, and suddenly it answers. Suddenly the blue bird screamed. They don't seem to believe what's going on. It screams, it's finally connected. Axel fearfully embraced Ronan, shivering, asked. The bird just talked. I can't help but push your face out. You think it's real, it's a message magic. Ronan thought he'd just flown out and connected. He looked at what lay on the ground and continued to speculate. Maybe that bag can block the mana. You must be the owner of this bird. And in some magical way. Your voice is transmitted to a mysterious person. He's right, my name is Varong. I'm currently studying the occult. I am not a guard of Mappet. No matter how many times we try to communicate but still can't, I'm going to report back fortunately. Sorry as you are. Ronan pushed Axel aside, and he answered boldly. We're just passing by. We just fought the poachers. Those who caught the bird. And then this is too bloody to describe. I remember when I fought them. I don't know what to say. He looked at Mark Pet and said, we can save him. He suddenly exclaimed, poaching. Do we think about, but I can't believe this is actually happening. I thank you very much. I don't know how to pay back. Abel seems to have gotten used to it. He looked at the bird with interest. No need. But how do I return the bird to you? Looks like he's tied up, so he's tired. Ronald looked at the cuffs at the bird's feet. I wonder if this thing can fly. The Kia replied, well, that's probably okay. The homesickness dream is so clear that if you let it go. He didn't finish the sentence. Ronald drew his sword. That's okay. He struck a sword. Fast and tidy, before the bird's sudden and frightened gaze. He could only cry for a few hours. Soon the iron chain broke. Put your sword in its sheath and tell it to go back to your father. Don't worry about the green bird. Ronaldo knows in his eyes. You are like the Prince of Love. In his eyes there was a sparkling light. It looks at the drowning. He called out the chip. Ronan looked at him wondering. He's got his ass in my face, that's why. Ronan looked at the bird in front of him. It's hard to see why. He said he wants you to pluck a hair. Before it flies away. Looks like this kid wants to see you again. After you pluck the bird's hair. It can lead the subject to you. It's like a compass. Have you plucked your hair? If there is a middle, remember to visit Mark Pet and me. I will repay you. Said the bird with a golden seal flew away. I looked at Theo with admiration. It's fast. I wonder what your brother is holding. Ronaldo said. He looked down at his hand. Now I see in my hand something round. In the middle of an empty forest, I look at the hand wondering what. A few days later, in a place like a barracks or a marketplace. People are constantly moving goods. A merchant holding a necklace of blue gems. Sophia takes up I's review. And then the commendation card. The value and wonder of this piece of jewelry. It's a precious thing. I'll give you 20 gold. Carabel Trade Union owner Duan Carabel speaks out. The things you bring out are all valuables. I'm lucky today. I can find clients like you. Axel hiding behind Ronan's arm listening to you gleefully. Finally someone understands. The other traders are all scammers. I had an argument with that merchant a while ago. There are 5 gold pieces in this. Have you opened your eyes, old man? He was upset about what you said. Axel's got to get Ronan to calm down. Ronan. You sighed in anger. I was angry. Fortunately, I found a merchant. Eyes like you. It's been a long time coming around. Carabel fun shaking hands with you, thanks. I'm glad to hear you say that. Axel took a deep breath. He asked again. Do you want to price anything else? Ronan put his hand in his pocket and got something. Answer me, is this okay? No. I'm not going to sell it. I'm just curious to know what it is. What you're bringing out is pretty much the same color as the bank. It's sparkling and oval. He just saw it and had to adjust his glasses. Ronald looked at that thing and remembered me. A green bird or something. Leave this behind. This egg. At first I thought it was in my hand. But without having to remember, at that time, I was still yelling, how dare this chicken repay me with this? And to test it, Ronan shouted and threw it at the rock. Real business. I thought I threw it in a rock to see if I could. Surprisingly, the egg even broke the rock. And I know it's hard. Both of you sprayed. Look at the crumbling rock, Ronaldo. He looked at the egg. I don't know if this is an egg or something, but it's the product of a mysterious creature. It's rare. It could be a treasure trove. And Carabel looked at it for a long time. Serious face says, this textured color. Don't tell me Ronan's face is fresh looking at him. And soon after, he said a green horseshit. You've got your face covered. Ronald reached for the egg in denial. Of course not. He scratched his head and laughed. I don't know what it is. I think it's a rare thing. Why don't you give it to a professional? That valuation. I put it back in my pocket with a sigh. I'm curious now. I probably haven't sold it yet. Axel thought closely. So that's a hard lump. Ronan continues the story. Do you sell books about Filion? He asked again. Filion student Asia. He turned his hand to Axel and explained correctly. We're going to enter the competition. Filion doesn't know much about it. He sort of caught the point, excitedly. Enter at the right time. My daughter is also preparing for the entrance exam. Maybe it'll help you too. He must be coming soon. A female voice came from the distance. What's going on, Dad? Dare AI. So Carabel and the Kia guys come back. He's smiling, he's back. This is my only daughter Maria. The girl with long hair blowing in the wind. Look at them. Ronan startled. Maria is she. Carabel. Call her back. Maria, say hello. These are the big guys I just traded. She asked suddenly. Why are these babies? He heard that, and I yelled. What kind of talk does this kid have? I'm sorry, ma'am, he grew up in the trade union, so he's a little harsh. Seal hands are not good. But Ronan sure is. You haven't asked the question, you've seen me walk. He walked over to her and said, are you Maria? She looked at him and replied, what is it? Ronan went on to say Maria has a lotus middle name, right? I can admit it, but I know. Ronan sweats incomprehensible. You look so much like her. But people I know. I'm going to ask you one more question. Come here, you twirl your ear. She comes close. Wait, what do you want to ask? Ronan whispered, do you have that down there? That bird, she's looking at you like a retard. What the hell did I just hear? Ronan seemed to be seriously waiting for an answer. Maria mused on her thoughts of the subquarter. You don't seem to understand. Her angry face and Chen entered. No matter how you look. You don't seem to have that. Maybe the old man. There was another child that he didn't know about. Yeah. Thinking. I just looked over and ate a woman in the face. Maria shouted angrily. Shut up, psychopath. Ronan even speculated about this slap. It feels so familiar. It's that person, Cow Maria Sen. Maria that, when I was a military discipline in a place called Amaklan, Maria is in charge of the military. With a great way of doing things, same open-minded personality, you can talk to anyone without hesitation. Maria is an admirable person. But when we talk about your, in the middle of the bow story, Maria became unusually angry again. And there was a puzzling act. It's slapping my face. I've always been curious about why. If I could see Maria again, I want to be asked why. But that opportunity never came. Mary died before I could ask. I can't believe I found the answer here. Count Maria. You are a cell woman. She looked at you and laughed at you. That's not good enough. Then I'll give you one more blow. Ronald knocked her on the head in a fit of rage. Stop this girl. If you see me give you one, you will be pushed by the water. I let you slap me because I was wrong. But I won't. And yet, Maria put her head in his chin. Scream. What if I hit you a second time, you idiot? What are you going to do? To people holding each other's hair. Ronan is full of shit, crazy. They both died fighting each other. There are two others. When I saw this, I didn't know what to say. Don't fight anymore. They quickly ran out and stopped the other two. A while later. What's wrong with these two guys? They just fought as if you were alive and dead. Maria rubbed her hair and asked, so this is what's left for you to use? Ronaldo needs to check if he is okay. Axel watched them think. But now Ronald's talking to Maria. If it's not okay, I'll buy something else. And Axel looked at the screen in front of him puzzled. They're getting along again. Maria pulled out her sword and asked him. 3 swords and a wand. Why did they give you 3 swords? Bring them all. Theo is not very difficult, Sal. You casually say. Scrub, just in case, I'm a bit violent with the sword. Yeah. How are they? Maria commented yes. They are and Theo, but this black sword is the best. It's pretty solid. So it's an item that knight's reputation is often sought after. I don't know how rough you are with your sword. But this sword can't be broken. She gave me the sword. Ronan gave his hand to the Thotto. So this is the black sword. It's been my favorite weapon in the past. Maria continued to speak, but this wand has a magic stone attached. It's good to leave this to you. Maybe this girl is a shaman. Maria smiled, then looked at Axel, and he nodded. She asked what kind of magic she used. Axel, she answered magic remote control. Maria suddenly praised the remote control, impressive. If done well, you might even get a scholarship. Axel rubbed his head laughing except for real Sal. Maria looked at me and now the problem is. I will show you what technique is in the practice test, Ronaldo itching technical questioner. She used to explain, you don't know. Getting to the Philippines, you need to impress the professors. And show them your technique in the exam. Practice is of course the theoretical exam a very difficult. It's not comparable to a practice exam. So the point I want to make is, if you do well on the practice test, you will pass. In other words, if you can't prove your worth, you should forget about going to the academy. Ronaldo took a breath. A swordsman just needs to be good at swordsmanship. God. So people often show what Maria says. Most of the nobles showed off the secrets of their families. And most of the other fighters and candidates, it shows the manhua fighting technique of their personal. Ronan cut the weight manhua. Young swordsmen of this age can use manhua. I'm not a Sao magician. Maria looked at me suddenly. What are you talking about? If you're a future student of Filion, the use of them is obvious. You can also feel the manhua. And with that amount of manhua, you can use it in combat. It's the most basic of the basics. That expression of yours is Sao. Ronan looked at her full of question marks. Just like hearing it for the first time, she shivers pointing at you. Don't tell me you don't know how to feel manhua. Then Ronald asked. What, isn't it the same as using aura? Maria shocked full episode. She covered her face and she mumbled, oh my god. I'm talking to a guy like this. And he's babbling about getting into the Philippines. Aura and manhua are similar. How can you say that? Ronan put his hand on his neck and replied softly. Maybe I already knew about it. You're serious about this? Maria stood up and said, it's no use, get out now. Ronan looked at her wondering why all of a sudden. She didn't answer, you keep saying. With back, can I borrow these swords? I left my sword at the forge. Ronan looked at Maria holding the sword. I just know what to say. Wait, why are you so natural? If you damage my sword, why? Maria smiled and walked away. Don't worry, because the game will be over before that happens. If that happens, I'll pay you 2 or 3 times as much, okay? I can't breathe. Maria is looking at me seriously, so don't talk nonsense. Follow me, I'll give you special training. Manhua is the source of natural power. It's like air. It's a kind of natural energy, it exists anywhere in the world. However, that doesn't mean that AI can use it. To use manhua, we need to see and feel the manhua inside us. And can be used. Feel manhua. To get to this stage, we need to practice our natural talent. There are many personal reasons that can affect. But it usually takes a year of practice so we can start to feel it. And the future students of Filion. Everyone has passed this stage. After practicing manhua technique, each of them applies to the Philippines. Do you understand now? Don't say feel. You can't even tell the difference between aura and manhua. I want to go to the Philippines. It was pointless. Maria looked at him with a sword. She sighed, okay fine. From his point of view, aura was also a kind of manhua. But the difference between them, it's like heaven and earth. Ronan asked what was different. To all the famous geniuses, Strenuous training for a minimum of 15 non-stop spills. Then they can realize the power of nature. That's aura. Maria asked again, did you understand anything? Ronaldo replied, well, not really. Sometimes in my brother's memory.
If you see them on the battlefield, they brag that they're the ones who use aura, and possesses extraordinary power. They're really annoying. But they're not that scary in the end. Because if you're beheaded, even the AI will die. Maria can cut me off. Let's explain later. Let's get started. I think you'll learn faster if you take in the body instead of the head. Ronaldo looked at the way she guessed. Well, she's just a young girl. Maria immediately launched towards Ronaldo. He widened his eyes suddenly at the terrible speed. The sound of swords touching each other makes the sound of nails. I glanced at you. Oh. That's impressive. Facing the face behind her weapon, Ronan and Maria Sen are in a very intense fight. 3 swords fighting each other. Ronan thought, oh look. Your sword and I slammed each other. It's a relatively strong force. I suddenly thought in my mind. She was so young and she was so strong. She's using a double sword. Maria is somewhat worried. I don't know. But is this some kind of mana strategy? When you see him suddenly, you wonder yourself. What does this guy do? You two are still fighting with each other. You're thinking in your head, I was going to finish him off in one shot. I was going to show him the power of mana, and made him drop the test. So, it's better to be humiliated at the checkpoint. But I was the one who was pushed back. This might be the skill of someone who can't use it. Where? I can't believe you asked her what she was thinking. While being careless, she was pushed back and tossed her sword again. His eyes suddenly lit up like a cat's eyes at night. He held up the sword. And then I yelled, don't stop. She was surprised when his sword swung down. Fortunately, you were in time. She jumps and slides away for a while. The sound of the sword rubbing against the ground to make the cry that binds the ears. She breathed. If I had been slow, something might have happened. You're not ordinary at all. He smiled and replied, you too. He drew his sword and continued. Apart from Mana Ra, you are also very talented swordsmanship, but your focus is a little unstable. Then I turned around and left without forgetting to say another word. If you can fix it, you'll be much better. I suddenly asked, where are you going? You are angry? My sword is pointing at you. Don't tell me you think you won. You can calmly answer the question. Remember to keep your promise. You said it, not Sao. 3 times your eyes widened suddenly. She hesitated to say, you don't always ignore her and go on. Remember the price of the sword. You're in the mood for surprise, and don't know what to say. There's that AI finger touching your back. The person hesitated. Well, that asshole. I know how you feel right now, laughing. Well done, suddenly that AI is calling you. Come on, asshole, I'm tired. You faltered yes. She's standing there wondering who they are. I saw that asshole had just arrived, so I asked her why she was so slow. You just laugh. The sky today is cloudy and very clear blue. It's a sign that today is a beautiful day. People are busy shipping goods. Somebody said, I'm just here to get the money. You and a seal? With a sudden look at what's in front of you. I asked, but what is it? In front of them are books. It's neatly stored into briefcases. She replied yes, that's what you need to learn for your theory test. Philippine, I've put it together. You're not kidding, you don't have to. Check it out a month later. To a seal eyes light up like Sao. I calmly asked back, you need to, but why do you have to? He opened the sword in front of her. If you're plotting something bad, you say it. No, don't worry. I just like you guys. Then she laughed again. Ha ha ha. Continued. I'm doing this because I want you to park. Of course it's free. A seal's face sounds hypnotized. I'm breathing, if it's free. She said Chen at his word. If possible, I'd like to teach you to alone, but now I have to go. She punched him in the chest, laughing. Study hard there. If you still fail like this, I won't ignore it. Understand? He smiled back. You have to work hard too. She sat in the carriage and waved, laughing. See you in the capital on the day of the test. Remember to read the whole book. I looked down at my hand thinking, I have to train my weak body. I also need to learn, because I can't get lucky. But this feeling is very NT0. Ronan's life after returning home. It's the same as in the past, but there have been minor changes. He ate with Arrow, so much that he surprised her. You look delicious. You eat so much that your stomach is stretched after every meal. Arrow is happy to say that your brother is eating well. Besides, I also started hunting monsters in the suburbs, the village, and start to increase their resilience and adaptability. He gently gathered his sword to breathe. On the ground are the monsters lying there. They were defeated by you. You tell yourself. It's okay like this today. I hunt monsters a lot. There were no monsters around the village. Gold again. Besides, I'm learning. It's unimaginable for a disciplined soldier. I said, wait a minute. Why do I have to remember the food rules of the North? Even if you don't know the results. But I still do my best. Seeping away, a month quickly passed. It's a beautiful day, a sign of good luck. Valen capital city popped up with a bow. Electricity and magnificent house. Magnificent in the center of the capital. It's the largest educational institution in the empire. The little city of White Tower. Axel suddenly said this was. Philippine Sao is so beautiful. It's too big. What did Ronan say you were doing in the middle of the road, Axel? You don't have to be a barbarian anymore. Come on in, we're late for the test now. Axel Ronaldo reproached and hesitated to say sorry. When you hear it, ask again. Why do you talk like that? Axel replied, nothing. I'm just amazed. It's been a month where you've grown a lot. Ronaldo, you put your hands on your hips, helpless to ask. And then you just clenched your head. Stop talking nonsense and come on in. You're screaming at the head. Turn around, I thought. I remember being in the Philippines. Maybe I'll meet him. The one Ronan thought of was the holy Swordsman. Is a descendant of Grancha? A clan of swordsmanship. He was considered the greatest genius in the empire. I think he must be my age. Maybe I'll meet you at the test. But it doesn't matter. I was thinking, Axel asked, but Ronan, do you have that? I wonder, what is that? You said ass hair last time. It could lead us to the owner of that bird. He said, I thought you said something else. I took that bird's feather and said, I brought it with me because I remember that he lives in the capital. I'm going to visit him after the test. The hair points up. I was stunned at the top floor. The sun shining through the glass door. A sigh with the voice of that AI. It's not easy. I'm not used to this professor's job. Should I go back to research? The bird landed on this man's shoulder. Cry out every happy ear. He stroked the little bird and said happily, Are you cheering me on, Mark Pet? We have to keep trying. To thank the hero who saved you. The man who's talking now is my professor of zoology. Filian Varen. His characteristic fantasy is the lion? He asked the little bird gently. Okay, let's open the window. And if our hero comes by today, it's going to be a lot of trouble. Outside the window is Ronan with a grim smile looked at him and said, I haven't even knocked. But it's opening itself. Oh, was that the blue bird before? So, you're the owner of Sao Beast? Varen and the frightened blue bird stand still. The cry of fear of lions and birds as it's an echo from the palace. Then Var Fantasy panicked, hugging the mape, said, Who are you? How to get back in here? This is one of the highest levels. Ronan scratched his ears. You scared me to death for being deaf. Axel climbed in from the window. That's why I said, take the stairs. He hugged it tightly and asked, You follow my Macbeth, right? Now I'm holding out a blue feather. Var Fantasy, amazing hairy stock. You're like realizing something's stopping you. These are the saviors who saved my baby. All three of you are sitting down right now. He said, the son in front of you, my benefactor that I seven to. Okay, I hope you can ignore Cho. Ronan said. I said no. Why? He kept repeating. If you want to clean it up, it's his fault. It's climbing out the window. Axel looked at me and said, Hey, who told me to use the remote control? Because I see a height. The problem is Ronan. He squeezed his cheek, causing Axel to make a sound. Ronan says order. But the point is, I can't imagine Ra, an extremely rare demi-human sphinx. He is the owner of that bird. He continued while holding onto Axel's cheeks. It makes you struggle to escape. And a professor in the Philippines. Var Fantasy scratched his cheek, sheepishly replied. I was surprised too. Not expecting. Our hero is a contestant in the academy. Hey, it's embarrassing. If I had known, I would have written you a letter of recommendation. But today is exam day. I hope that doesn't happen. But if you fail, he grumbled. Why did you say those unfortunate words? It's not cool. We're here to ask you something. You know, we don't have much time. Then Ronald showed me a purple object. What is this? That green bird gave birth to it. He adjusted his panic glasses. What is a pet map? This is a dreamy egg. Var Fantasy took the egg and asked back. You said Maple Story gave birth to it. I calmly replied. What's so surprising about birds laying eggs? You're warm. It's not just a normal bird. It's not a dream. But what's even more amazing is that I don't know what this egg will hatch. Ronan's wondering what you said. If it's a bird's egg, it's a bird. Fantasy Var shook his head against the dream is different. Depending on the surrounding environment, ostrich eggs will absorb the unique mana and lay eggs. Let's say there's lava around. The egg will hatch a phoenix of fire. In the monster's nest, the bird will take the form of that monster. And so on. And there's also things that come out of eggs. There's no shape of a bird? Of course, if I can analyze the mana out of that egg. predicting the morphology of the ostrich in the egg. It's not impossible. But this egg. He looked at the egg. Up the energy with many vibrant colors mixed together. There are a lot of mana schools. It's like training Kim. They melt and they mix. It's hard to be sure now. What is this egg? Ronan was surprised. There's only one egg, and you put so much thought into it. He turned to Mark Pet. This dishonest guy. Where did you go to lay this egg? He tilted his head for a few hours. I was stunned. I've never met a bird with such a thick face. Var on Fantasy serious facial expression says, so, I'm asking you, can you take care of this egg? Well, said Ronan, I don't have a problem. I asked you why it was precious. He replied, of course, all my life, I have dreamed of being born only once. But, if it's laying this egg in front of you, my benefactor, I'm sure Mark Pet felt something special. He gladly looked over to it. Put your hand on Mark Pet's neck. Make it happy, make it cry. Taken then Var on Fantasy said. I also want respect. My friend has been my friend for a long time, so I'm going to give this egg back to you. Ronan took the egg and looked at it and said. It doesn't matter, I'm also curious. I don't know what's going to come out of this show. It's too late. It's all done. Give us your permission. I stand up and leave. Varian Fantasy said that. Wait a minute. I kept thinking about what to give you. But I just remembered something really cool. He turned around to get it. Var on Fantasy held out a roll of paper saying, here, take this. It'll help you hatch that egg. Both of you have puzzled faces. You ask this. A while later, practice test hall Galleon Palace. Waiting room for candidates. There are many people who are praying. Someone checks the weapons. Supervisor stepped out notice. Candidate No. 111 has completed the exam. Please call candidate number 112. The shivering man stood up and said yes. The door opened, and he walked in. Ronaldo thinks 112, and I'm next. He crossed his legs with one hand on his chin. They waited a long time. Do you feel that way? Maria the blonde next door replied. It's not a test. Ronan looked at her and asked why she was wearing that. Don't you feel uncomfortable? Maria happily replied, I mean it. The Philippines is the private academy of all nobles. In the future they will be guests. So of course I shouldn't have spread it. Right, she mischievously blinks her hands and makes an ostrich move. You are powerless to say. You're very thoughtful. Maria sat down in her chair complaining. It's good to have our baby here. Sorry Ronan didn't care. How to do it? The magic exam hall is somewhere else. He's not crying, I'm glad. The director continues to announce. Candidate number 112 has completed the test. Next please invite candidate No. 113. The guy who came out with a dry face. Mouth murmuring, I'm done. Ronan stood up and said it was my turn. Maria refreshing motivator. Don't worry, do as much as I say. If you lose 7, I won't leave you alone. You go ahead and wave, you know. Thank you for the warm support. I'll be back later. Ronan seriously observed. I think these guys are Filian's professors. In front of you are 5 professors sitting, with a majestic demeanor. Ronan looked through each evaluator in his mind. They all looked great. The old man in the middle. He looked at the old man, from sitting in the middle of 5 people. President of the Filian Academy of Wizards. Ronan looked to the left and thought. That woman also exudes an overwhelming temperament. I rarely felt this pressure in my previous life. That's Holy Sword teacher Navi Rose. I bow to you as Ronan. The principal said it was nice to meet you. Ronan, I'm the principal of the Philippine Grava Creation Academy. You're going to fight a magic doll. So, you can show off your technique. You've decided. Will you show us any tricks? I looked at the doll. Well, it's nothing special. It's just a quick sword. I think that's enough. The professor looked at a man who said. A simple slash without using mana. HM didn't have such a candidate. Some name. Just judging the looks of the magic dolls. And say those stupid things. He laughed at the person next to him. The old man next to him replied, well, from a distant country, you may not know. Even if it looks like that, but the doll has the defensive power to overcome, and can recover very quickly. It's an exquisite product of magic. The blonde man whispered. Even Chilla Fan's sword. Some genius doesn't leave a trace. I don't know what this guy is going to show me. The person next to me replied. Who knows, if he tore it in half. The blonde professor laughed at him. You're funny. The principal is afraid to look at you. I heard it all. He's right in front of you. They can even say things like that. If this child can prove them wrong, why? Are you surprised to open your eyes? Why does he have that kind of energy at this age? Ronan stomped on the ground and got a little bit of momentum. He rushed to cut right into the doll's neck. The astonishing female professor opened her mouth wide. Ronan Cho recaptured into the shell. I looked at the professors and said, "You're done." The two professors laughed at the sky. I can't believe that only one sword is done. Kia continued to grade the part. This exam is a bit messy. Do you think so, principal? The principal was stunned to say nothing. Suddenly Navi Rose stomped hard on the table. It startled him. Professor Navi Rose. She rushed forward with her ferocious gaze aimed straight at Ronan's neck. I didn't dodge Navi Rose. Ronan looked down and said, "You threatened me and asked who you were. That sword is who taught you." Navi Rose on the other side. And then Ronan asked me again what I learned from the AI. Navi Rose said, "We'll change the question. Have you seen my sword? Your face is expressionless. Yes. Your sword is awesome. It is difficult to draw the sword so suddenly." He swung his sword 3 times. Navarose said it right 3 times. "Just like what you showed us. That arrogant sword of yours." Ronan looked at her in surprise. Navarose continues, "You thought I didn't know why. That scarecrow scarecrows you. You deliberately slashed the last. It's slow in case we can't see. As if you have a heart. You have forgotten where you are." The principal looked away quietly. The professors are suspicious. We're looking at something like this. Ronald rolled his eyes thinking there was a misunderstanding. I just adjust the hand. I thought the sword would not hold. That last cut. Look at Kia's face. Looks like she won't believe her word. Navi Rose turned around and said, "I will remember your face. Are you surprised? That's all?" She turned her head near the voice. "Surely my own hand will teach you." Ronan was afraid that Ra wasn't over. Navi Rose sat down in her chair. The director looks at you thinking, "Surely my own hand will teach you." I think she wants to take him as a disciple. God seems to need more attention. He looked at Ronan and said, "Well done, Ronan. Then we'll finish the exam today with a question. The answer is open. So, just say what you think makes the most sense." "Ronan, what do you want to learn when you go to the Filian Academy?" Ronan seriously, he said, "I wonder. How should I answer your question? Do something so you don't have to regret it. That's the first thing I wanted to learn." The principal rolled his eyes at this answer. He was silent for a moment and said, "I understood. You're out, Ronan. The gate is closed." Gravakrasha, repeat the sentence. "Do something so you don't have to regret it." What a mess. I don't know what I'm going to teach him. The professor next door spoke up. "What's going on?" By Professor Navi Rose. "It's all day now, principal." "What's that kid doing? You two are like this. What tricks does it use?" "You said tricks. It's also a good way to explain." The magic doll suddenly broke off. The principal continued, "Actually, maybe we should call him a genius." The two professors rolled their eyes and opened their mouths in amazement. Magic doll? The head of the figure fell out, rolling whirlwind feathers on the ground. "I'm thinking about your grandmother's sword just now. Even in my previous life, I'm not sure I won either. I think I've met a worthy opponent. But it seems like a long way to go." He smiled with self-encouragement. In the heart, I think it was a good first step to the Philippines. If it's here, I'm sure I'll learn a lot. Now it's just a written test. I remember it all this month. It should be easy after the line. The paleface said it was easy. I'm totally fucked. It's true that my life is wrapped in a pillow. Maria was stunned. I can't believe he couldn't even do half of it. Why is that? I remember telling him to see what was in the bag. Assel answered that. He took it to school and put it in a bag. He was so focused that he forgot his pair. You said it was because of me. If I had reminded him, it wouldn't have been. Maria gritted her teeth. You are so stupid that you can survive. That's when the test ended. He's like this forever, when the results come out. She lifted up Ronan's hands and encouraged him. You know, don't frown. Practice is still more important than no sao. With your skills, I'm sure. Suddenly a magic circle appears. Some people say, look, it's working. All three looked up. A long list appears in the air. Assel asked if that was the list of applicants. Maria's worried faster than I thought. For above right magic department, Axel grade 12 practice, grade 1 theory BA faculty. Martial arts Maria Sen Carabel 9th grade practice. 9th grade theory. They both looked at each other for a moment. Maria suddenly scoffed. She put her hands around her neck and yelled, we're parked. Assel, you even got first class theory. Maria gave him a hand rubbing his head. Assel La asked, really? She said it's written on it. Even if there are two people with the same rank as you, but it's still first class. Very good baby. Maria rubbed his head. Assel excitedly. Maybe I'm lucky. Like remembering something. Maria turned her head and asked, Ronan, what grade are you? Ronan stood there motionless. Your face collapsed weakly said. I know without my name. Why do people like me get into the academy? Maria was stunned. Ronan. Axel said it was impossible. She approached the ball. Ronaldo's eyes screamed. Don't joke. Look closely. It's impossible. Ronaldo replied. No, I've read every name. I told you. I was so bad that something flew by. Crashed into the school gate. Everybody startled. Ronan raised his face and asked what was happening. Maria replied. Fire. End of the input test. It's for the valedictorian. Phoenix fire. A phoenix with flaming fur appeared. It flaps its wings and shoots out a fireball. The sphere flew straight towards Ronan, and I was surprised. Then a big explosion happened. Fortunately, Ronan wasn't made SAO. 5 lines appeared in the air. Ronan first class martial arts practice valedictorian. 5.712 theoretical grade. Rated 5.712 theory. All 3 were in shock. Maria and Axel hugged him and shouted congratulations. Maria said that, and you're the martial arts valedictorian. You're a good communicator, Ronan, you're the valedictorian. Ronan stiffened and let out an unpleasant cry. She rubbed your head and said I knew you were a genius. Ronan laughed. I guess I have a good eye. Suddenly in my heart, I realize, wait, if I rank first, that means he lost to me, not with his personality. There's no way he'll leave it like this. This is a bit strange. Now, in the back of Ronan, there's a black-haired man approaching. He spoke up. So, it's Mr. Sao who got first place on the practice test. I was startled to think damn. I knew we had to face each other like this. Holy Sword Steel Fan man with blue eyes. Kia's cold voice was staring at Ronan. After the results of the valedictorian appeared, Steel Fan Grancha from afar goes towards Ronan. Other students saw him. It's amazing and amazing. He's a CF fan. I didn't expect to meet the rising Sao of the Empire. Here Maria sees Chili F. The fans who come to them should inform Ronaldo. Ronaldo seems to want to talk to you. Axel next to him was afraid of his voice. The air around him is scary. Ronaldo gritted his teeth in his head. It's too annoying. He is still the same as before. I can't stand anyone better at swordsmanship. He was brought back to life, so I know him very well. Arrogant attitude with sharp eyes. I want to swallow Ronan. It makes you more sure. That cruel attitude. Ronald didn't want to get into trouble. Should want to avoid Chili fans as far as possible. I need to avoid conflict. Even if you think about your own ranking, but you still pretend you don't know what to say. I ranked first. I didn't know that either. No, he still didn't say a word. That face still scowled at Ronan. This time Chili fans clenched their hands and asked Sao questions like lying. Ronan was also helpless to answer. What do you mean? I don't know. Why do you want proof? Don't mess with me, just keep going. In one hand, he gripped the holy sword at his side. Repeat your words. Evidence. Let me show you. End of Chili. The fan drew the sword and immediately swung it at Ronan, but you can easily use your sword. Hit it away from the sword. Ronan also suffers from Stellafan actions. Threat to horror. Maria and Axel were behind the scenes. They are all threatened, screaming out your name Ronan. Then Shirley Fan, deliberately doing so to validate one's own speculation, finally spoke up. Is this enough? If you're not in line, you can't stop that blow. The students also saw this amazing scene. We are fighting. Show me the skills that make sentences pass me by. He seriously asked Ronaldo. You are suffering from crazy actions. Chilean fan fisting for angry, to curse a word. This crazy person can't stand it anymore. Ronan also agreed to his wishes. If you like it here in the afternoon, and in the blink of an eye, he quickly swung his sword in his hand towards Chili Fan. Ronan's face, it's also become very scary. Let me show you. He turned his sword towards him. But Steel fans were also stunned to see the sword force coming, instinctively swinging the holy sword in your hand to support, of course, with a swordsman like Steel Fan. We can also fend off that attack from Ronan. You're like a Steel Fan who's forced to attack you. He gave a blow to please Steel Fan to speak up. Fucking fun. Outsiders will think he's easy to catch. Only Chili. The fans know best. The hand of his sword kept trembling. But really, fans can't help but admit Ronaldo's swordsmanship talent. Which one did you get a high score for? Good technique. But just as I thought. He didn't give up. He wants to compete with Ronaldo. That wasn't enough to beat me. I just held Steel's fan's sword. Just threatened Cho shouted to reassure him. Wait, you're out of your mind. Calm down, Steel. Fans know Ronaldo's abilities. It's not easy to deal with that. Don't hide the power. His face right now. It's also become very scary. Staring at Ronaldo I can't. Acceptable. Finish talking. Chloe Fan continues to swing the attack again. Ronan also cried out with difficulty. In your head, this is a lot of insults in the face of blind behavior about his swordsmanship. This idiot, he's going to risk his life. That's why I didn't want to meet him. At this rate, he will start using aura. The situation is becoming more and more out of control. When STF fan, frantically attacking Ronan, it's bad. It creates a tornado with a single stroke of a sword. The powerful aura is known as the Sword Storm. Based on the memories of a past life, Ronan knows the danger. It's hard to stop with your strength right now. I can't fight it. I was fighting Chloe fans in the air. Ronan turned and ran away. You seem to have it in your heart. Think of something to deal with. With him the chiffon over there. As if to devour Ronan. I can understand your thinking and shout. What are you doing? Turn your back on your opponent in a match. Ronan's sword was suddenly placed on Axel's shoulder. I don't understand if you're watching. Your actions are against people. Shilly fan still chasing after to scream. You thought I was going to miss. Afraid a seal stuttered Ronan Sao is me again. Shirley fan. He saw Ronan's actions with anger and contempt. Cursing the coward. Use a lady as a shield. He called himself a knight. But Axel, he misunderstands his own gender. It's embarrassing. Explain that I'm a boy. Ronan laughed loudly. Maybe you've succeeded. Chloe fan hit her successor. To exclaim a sentence. As I thought, your personality doesn't change. Even about to die. You'll still defend the honor of a knight. Just finish Ronan. Big smile ghost. Punch him in the face with no small force. Axel next to you is being used as a tool. Chili fans were also horrified. Then Chili effin was beaten up and groaned for an hour. He crouched one leg down and hugged his face. You have to use the holy sword in your hand. Ronan takes advantage of this opportunity to shout at Axel and Maria. It makes you scared and shiver. Right now Axel Maria runs. Ronan's scream thundered out loud. Where's Chili effin hugging bewildered face? Don't understand what? He shouted for Ronan's group to wait. It's time. Chanel fans want to wake up to what's going on. Then they've run away. The remote security team goes to. The bald man came running. What's over there? I heard there was a fight. He didn't finish the sentence. The scene in front of you keeps you. Esley fan's face injured by Ronaldo. Nose blood flows down. The old man panicked. Oh my god, Mr. Esley fan. He was in a hurry to ask why. Are you okay? Who would dare to do that to you? Please describe those people. The Academy's security team will chase. The bald man didn't finish his sentence. He was told by Chili. Cross-section fan. No need for air travel. I'm not a son of a duke now. It's just a candidate with civilian status. He spoke up to explain. To reassure the security team. You don't have to worry. This is a fair fight. I'll take care of it myself. Chili fans continue. Just got back in the spirit of dusting off all the dirt on my clothes. Suddenly something caught his attention. It's the holy sword that has a crack. It's cracked. This is a sword made from midran. I thought my sword skills are not outstanding. But Steel fans thought wrong about Ronan's real skills. It made him think twice. The last match between them made. Steel fans are more amazing, but did not expect he can make a sword like this. He laughed softly for an hour. That's interesting. Ronan STF fan seems to have his own thoughts. The more I think about it, the more I'm curious about this guy. I'll remember this name, STF fan said to himself. The next day in an early morning. Clear blue sky on the outskirts of the forest capital of Zhehuang. Ronan stepped inside. He looked at the map and told Axel. It's definitely around here. You go, you're so tired after that. A seal wiped his sweat and asked Ronaldo. Is it okay if we do that? Ronaldo didn't understand your question. What do you do when you turn around? Axel recalls the match between Ronaldo and Chili. Fans yesterday. No, I'm talking about the guy you beat up yesterday. I heard he's the heir to the Duke's family. The Grancha family is second only to the royal family. You broke his nose. Axel's heart is filled with insecurity and his body trembles. 7. Ask him if he wants revenge. Ronan, next to him, still calmly look at the map to sound calm. Don't worry. He's a good guy, he's just got the same swordsmanship. He always maintained his principles and his faith. It's everyone's ideal model of a hero. Always protect the weak, or so to speak, the image of a perfect noble. Ronan lives again. You can easily understand the personality, the human nature of Chloe fan. Ronan guessed correctly. What he said to the team. Security yesterday. Explained to Axel. Maybe he'll talk. What happened yesterday was a fair fight. Or we're behind bars now. Ronan's answers also made Axel gradually become calm. But think about it. It's true to think about it. I put this aside. But back to their main problem right now. But more importantly, look over there. I think we're there. The spirit vessel that Professor Varen mentioned. In front of the two of them was a blue river. Ronald sowed the cheer. I'm glad to find the place the professor mentioned. Source Fernando. I don't know why. Mana flows around the world and gathers in one place, creating these waters called the spirit vessels. With its existence, mana will permeate the surrounding area. A normal stone can become a mana stone. High grade, and a weed that's turned into a miracle herb. It's famous for its magical properties. Ronan looked at the water flowing in front of him. Never stop complaining. Its value cannot be measured. and most people tried to take it. That professor is so generous. Remember when Professor Varan take a map to the Linjiang and the task he gave? And yet, let us come to this place to incubate an egg. Do you think Abel feels different? Ronan asked him. This time, Assel, you also feel the difference in the power of self. Look at the magic in your hand. This is the first time I've felt the amount of mana. It is concentrated in one place.
Nếu là
If I
ở
were
đây,
here, I
tôi có
could
thể
easily
dễ
cast
dàng thi
magic.
triển phép thuật, mạnh hơn
Stronger
thường
than
ngày.
usual. Assel
Asel
watched
say
the
mê
magic
nhìn
move.
phép thuật đang di chuyển, bay lượn
Flying in
trên
the
tay.
hand.
Cậu
You
cũng
also
tinh mắt
have
phát
eye,
hiện
light
ánh sáng
detection,
tím
purple
phát
coming
ra
out
từ
of the
chiếc
egg
túi
bag.
đựng quả trứng được
Worn by
Ronan đeo
Ronan on
bên
the
hông
side,
nói,
the egg
và
in
quả
your
trứng
pocket.
trong túi cậu, giống như
Just
lúc
like
trước.
before.
Nó
It's
đang hấp thụ
absorbing
năng lượng
magical
phép thuật
energy
với
with
tốc độ đáng
incredible
kinh ngạc.
speed.
Quả trứng
Purple egg
tím
is
đang mạnh mẽ
strongly
hấp thụ
absorbing
mana.
mana.
Có vẻ
He
nó
seems to
thích
like the
mana
mana
nơi
here.
đây. Ra
So
vậy,
I don't
tôi
know.
cũng không biết nữa.
Maria
Maria
would
chắc
love
cũng
this
sẽ thích
place
nơi
too.
này lắm. Ronan
Ronan
cũng
also
chú ý
paid
tới quả
attention to
trứng
the
đang
egg.
mạnh mẽ hấp
Actively
thụ năng
absorbing
lượng
the
nơi đây.
energy here.
Cậu
You feel
cảm thấy
sorry
tiếc
for
thay
her
cho
when
cô
Maria.
ấy khi Maria có việc
To have
riêng
my
của
own
mình.
business.
Nếu
If
không
you are
bận
not
với
busy
việc
with
buôn bán
trading,
thì cô
then she
ấy
can
được
come
đi
with
với
us.
chúng ta rồi. Tiếc
I am
quá.
sorry.
Asel
Assel
gật
agreed
đầu
with
đồng tình
Ronan.
với Ronan. Đúng vậy. Đột
Suddenly
nhiên
he
cậu
said,
nói ra nghi
"Doubt
hoặc
your
của
own."
bản thân. Ronan,
Ronan's not a
không
bit
phải hơi
weird.
kỳ lạ sao?
I'm
Anh
on
đang
one knee
quỳ một
on the
chân trên
ground.
lên đất quay đầu
Turn
sang
your head
hỏi
and
cậu,
ask you what.
chuyện gì?
Assel
Asel nói tiếp
continued
suy
his
nghĩ
thoughts.
của mình. Giáo
Professor
sư
Varen
Varen
said
đã
because
nói,
there's a lot
vì
of
ở
mana
đây có
here.
rất nhiều mana, nên
So
sẽ có
there's
nhiều
going to
loài
be a
giả
lot of
tưởng đến
fictional
đây làm
species
tổ.
coming here tonight.
Kể
Even
cả hung
normal
thú bình
animals.
thường cũng vậy.
This place
Nơi
is
này
good.
rất tốt. Câu nói
Axel's
của
words
Asel
woke
như
Ronan
đánh
up.
thức Ronan, khiến
I
anh
was
kinh ngạc
amazed to
nhận ra
realize
điều gì
something.
đó. Nhưng
But
tại
at
sao
Sao,
chúng
we
ta
don't
không hề
hear
nghe thấy
animals.
tiếng động vật?
A
Một
wind
cơn gió
blowing
thổi
through the
qua
leaves
khiến lá
fluttering.
cây bay phấp phới, làm
It
cho
makes
bầu
the
không khí
atmosphere
càng
even
trở
more
nên căng
tense.
thẳng hơn. Ronan
Ronan
khẽ
sighed
thở
a
dài
little.
một hơi. Anh
I've
cũng
also
đã
felt
cảm
the
nhận ra
strangeness
sự
here.
kỳ lạ nơi đây. Mình
I'm too
quá chủ
subjective
quan
and you
rồi.
get up.
Anh dần đứng dậy.
Ronald
Ronan chửi
uttered a
thầm một
curse in
câu
his
rồi
head
vào
and
đầu bứt
sighed.
tai than vãn. Chết
God
tiệt,
damn it,
mọi thứ
it's
lại
out of
vượt ngoài
control.
tầm kiểm soát. Sao
It
đi đâu
happens
cũng gặp
everywhere
chuyện
you
vậy.
go.
Asel
Axel
nhận
noticed
thấy
the
sự
difference
khác
from
lạ
you.
từ anh cũng
I
nhận ra
also
có chuyện
realized
không
something
hay.
was wrong.
Cẩn
Be
thận
careful
hỏi,
what's
có
wrong,
chuyện gì sao?
Ronald.
Ronan đầy cảnh
Full
giác
of
nhìn
vigil.
vào
Look at
khu
the
rừng
forest
đang
that's
rình rập
stalking
nguy hiểm
danger
kia
to
cảnh
you. A
báo
warning
cậu
to
một
you.
câu, chuẩn
Get
bị
ready,
tinh thần đi,
Axel.
Asel. Xa
Far
xa
away
trong
in
khu
the
rừng là
forest
những
are
xác
dead
chết
animals.
động vật.
Then
Ronan
Ronald
tin
believed
tưởng
he
đã ngửi
smelled
ra
the blood
mùi
from
máu
them.
từ chúng do
Due
có
to a
đám người bí
mysterious
ẩn
group
bắt
of
giết
people
báo
caught
tình
killing
hình cho
report the
Asel.
situation
Có
showed. It
mùi
smells
máu
of
tanh.
blood.
Asel
Ronald's
bị lòi
dangled
của
Axel
Ronan
threatened him
dọa
with
cho
shock.
sợ tới sững sờ.
The
Giọng điệu
shivering
run
voice
rẩy.
smells of
Có mùi
blood.
máu
You
á.
mean Sal?
Ý cậu là sao?
His
Gương mặt
face
anh nghiêm túc
seriously
lại
asked
hỏi
the
ngược lại.
opposite.
Cậu
What
nghĩ
do you
ý
think
tôi
I
là
mean?
gì? Có
That
nghĩa là
means
đã
there
có
were
khách
guests here
tới đây
before
trước
us.
chúng ta.
Ronald
Ronan
grinned
nhếch mép
softly
cười
for an
nhẹ một
hour.
tiếng. Dĩ
Of
nhiên,
course the guests
khách ở
here.
đây,
The
bầu không
atmosphere in
khí
the
trong khu
forest.
rừng cũng
It's
càng
also
lúc càng
becoming
trở nên
more and
kỳ
more
dị hơn.
bizarre.
Nguy
The
hiểm
danger
đang
is
cận
near
kề
the two
hai
of
người
them.
họ. Đằng sau
Behind
những
the
gốc
trees
cây
not
không
far
xa
away,
có
there's
những mũi
purple
tên
arrows
màu tím lấp
flashing.
ló. Là
They
khách
are
không mời mà
uninvited
tới.
guests. The
Nhóm
group
bọn chúng
consists
gồm
of
5
5
người.
people. The
Người
leader
chỉ
was a
huy là người
purple-haired
đàn
man
ông tóc
standing
tím đứng
between
giữa.
the two sides.
Hai bên mỗi
The
bên
people
hai
each
người đeo
wearing a
mặt
wolf
nạ sói.
mask.
Tất
They're
cả
all
đều
targeting
dương cung nhắm
Ronan.
vào bọn Ronan. Vụt
For
một
an hour,
tiếng, 5
5
mũi tên
arrows
từ
from
trong
the
khu
forest
rừng lao
rushed
vút
towards
tới phía
Ronan.
Ronan mà anh
I
vẫn
still
bình
calmly
tĩnh
look
nhìn
at them.
chúng.
With
Với người
people
là
like
thủ khoa học
Ronan who
viện
are
Phi Linh như
valedictorians
Ronan
of the
rất
feeling
dễ
it's
dàng
easy
đỡ
to
được
catch
những
those
mũi tên
arrows.
đó. Ánh
Your
mắt
eyes
anh trở
become
nên
sharp.
sắc bén lại,
Take out the
rút thanh
sword at
kiếm
your
bên hông
side.
ra. Ronan
Ronan
vung nhẹ
swung
một
lightly
phát đã
and
chém
sliced
chúng
them
thành
in two.
hai phần.
The
Các mảnh
pieces
mũi
of the
tên
purple
tím cứ
arrow
thế
just
rơi
fell to
rải
the
rác
ground.
xuống đất.
His
Ánh mắt
cold
sắc
eye
lạnh chăm
fixed on
chú
the
nhìn
purple
mũi
arrow.
tên tím được thiết
It's
kế đặc
specially
biệt đó.
designed.
Đây
This
là,
is for sure
chắc
I've
chắn
seen
mình
it
từng
before.
thấy nó rồi.
In
Trong ký
Ronan's
ức
past
kiếp trước
life
của Ronan
memories,
thì
you
dường như
seem
anh
very
rất quen thuộc
familiar
với
with
mũi
that
tên đặc biệt
particular
đó.
arrow.
Kiếp
Previous
trước,
life
ở
in the
doanh
camp
trại đội kỷ
disciplinary
luật
team,
và
a
buổi
night in
tối
the
trong
deep
khu rừng
forest.
sâu, đội
The
bọn
team
họ
had a
có một
great
cuộc nói chuyện
conversation.
sôi nổi. Các
Do you
cậu
know
có
how
biết thứ
terrible
này
this
khủng
is?
tới mức nào không?
One member
Một
of the
thành viên trong đội
disciplinary
kỷ
team
luật giơ
hold
mũi
up that
tên
special
tím đặc biệt
purple
đó
arrow
lên
that
mà
threw.
giới thiệu.
Forbearance.
Banros ho
Cough
mạnh một
hard for
tiếng
an
để thu
hour to
hút
get
sự
the
chú ý
team's
của cả
attention.
đội mà giới
That the
thiệu công
world
dụng,
uses,
dùng
used to
để
kill
diệt
orcs.
ORC. Mũi
This
tên đặc biệt
particular
này
arrow
có
could
thể
blow
làm
up
nổ
the
tung
heads of
đầu lũ
orcs.
ORC đấy. Các
What
cậu
do you
nghĩ
think?
sao? Đội trưởng,
Captain, you
anh
wanted
cũng
too,
muốn có nó
don't
phải
you?
không? Cậu
He
ta
asked
lên tiếng
Ronan.
hỏi Ronan. Anh
I
quá hiểu
understood the
tính của
nature of
Banrus
banners
mà
so
cười
well
nhạt một
that I
tiếng.
laughed for an
Cậu
hour.
ta
He's
lại
starting
bắt đầu
again.
đấy. Ronan
Ronald
khó
couldn't
chịu
blame
trách
him.
móc cậu ta. Cậu
You
bị
got caught
tóm thì
hunting
dùng
with
nó
it.
đi săn. Vậy mà
But what
còn
are
khoe
you
khoang
bragging
cái gì
about?
hả?
Shut
Có
up
im
now.
ngay không?
The
Banrus
accused
bị trách
Banrus
cũng
was
uất
also
ức,
angry
tức
and
giận hét
shouted in
lớn phản
protest.
bác. Tôi nói
I'm
anh
telling
nghe
you,
hai cái
these
này
two
là
are
đồ
good.
tốt đó.
He
Cậu ta
frowned.
cau mày giảng giải về
Let's
sự
talk
lợi
about
hại
the
của mũi
benefits of
tên
this
này.
arrow.
Người
Who
đã
used
dùng
this
mũi
arrow
tên này
hundreds
hàng
of
trăm lần
times
và
and
săn
hunt
trộm thành
successful
công.
theft.
Chính
He's
là
a
một
senior
thành viên
member
cấp
of our
cao trong tổ
organization.
chức chúng ta.
The
Chó săn
hound of
của
the
chi nhánh
Calibro branch
Calibro
returns to
trở về
reality.
thực tại. Ronan
Ronan
hoàn toàn
remembered
nhớ
it
rõ lại
perfectly.
nguồn
The
gốc của
origin
mũi
of this
tên đặc biệt
particular
này
arrow,
dựa vào
based on
thông tin từ
information
kiếp
from
trước.
previous
Lại
lives.
là
Calibro
Calibro
again.
à? Còn nữa, thứ
Their
hạng
rank
của chúng cũng
is
giống
the
như
same
phân
as
cấp
the
của
sow
loài
hunting
chó săn
dog's
sao?
hierarchy.
Ronan
Ronan
cũng
couldn't
không thể
help
không
but
khen
praise
một
a
câu.
good one.
Hay lắm. Trước khi
Before
đi vào
going
trong
into the
rừng để
forest to
đến
get to
nơi
where
những
the
mũi
arrows
tên
are
được bắn
shot,
ra,
Ronan
Ronan nhắc nhở
reminded Axel.
Axel,
Axel,
cậu núp
hide
ở
somewhere.
đâu đó đi. Cố
Try
gắng
not
đến
to
cuối
turn
đừng biến
into a
thành con
hedgehog
nhím
in
là
the
được.
end.
Mặc
No
kệ cho
matter
cậu
what,
vẫn chưa
you
hiểu
still
chuyện
don't
gì đang
understand
xảy ra
what's
khi
going
mọi
on.
thứ
Everything
diễn ra
happens
quá
so
nhanh.
fast.
Tôi
I'm
sẽ
going on a
đi câu
business
chuyện
trip.
một chút. Vừa
Axel
dứt
was
lời,
surprised.
Axel kinh ngạc nhìn
Watching
Ronan lao
Ronan
đi với
Lao
tốc
go
độ
at
đáng kinh
incredible
ngạc.
speed. The
Gã chỉ huy
purple-haired
tóc tím
commander
trốn
hid
sau
behind
một
a
gốc
tree.
cây
I
thầm
am
cảm
amazed
thán
at
trước thực
Ronan's
lực của
strength.
Ronan. Tên
This
khốn này
bastard
là
is
sao?
Sal.
Hắn
He
vừa
just
mới
covered
chăn
his
được
name
hết tên chỉ
with
với
just
một
one
nhát chém
stroke.
đấy à? Tất
All
cả
this
số
mana
tiến
plate
tống mana
progress
này
Sal.
sao? Hắn
Who the
là
hell
tên
is
quái
he?
nào vậy? Về
Towards
phía Ronan
Ronan.
lúc này
Now
thì
your
ánh
eyes
mắt
are on
anh như
fire,
tóe lửa lao
coming
tới
towards
phía
them,
bọn họ như
like the
cơn gió
wind
mà
that's
lao
coming.
vút tới.
He
Gã nhận thấy
realized
có điều
something
không
was
ổn,
wrong,
chỉ
cursing
dùng một câu
ascendants,
rồi
then
hét
shouted
lên
a
cảnh
warning
báo
to the
đám thuộc
surrounding
hạ xung quanh.
subordinates.
Mẹ
Fuck.
kiếp, tất cả,
Everybody out.
mau tản
We'll
ra,
surround him
ta
and
sẽ
attack
bao
him.
vây và tấn công hắn. Ronan
Ronald
đứng
stood
từ
from a
xa nghe
distance,
cuộc
listened
nói
to the
chuyện
talk
của
of
đám
them,
bọn chúng mà suy
thinking
nghĩ,
as I guess.
đúng như mình đoán. Hắn
He's
rất
very
quyết đoán,
assertive.
có
Is
phải
it
vì chúng
because they're
khác với
different
mấy
from the
tên
others?
nhãi
Do I
hình
look at
chăm
the
mặt ở
forest
cánh
there?
rừng kia không nhỉ? Không
That's
ổn
not
lắm.
good.
Vậy thì,
After
sau
the
lời ra lệnh
purple-haired
của tên
man's
tóc
order,
tím thì tất
then
cả
we're
bọn
all
cũng
scattered
tản ra
everywhere.
khắp nơi. Ronan
Ronan
chạy
rushed
tới
to the
nơi,
place and
vội vã
shouted for
hét
them.
lớn gọi bọn chúng, dừng
Stop
tay,
your hands.
mấy người không
You
nhận
don't
ra đồng đội
recognize
à?
your teammates.
Gã
The
ở
guy
trên
in the
cây
tree
khó hiểu
couldn't
trước lời
understand
nói
his
của anh,
words.
đồng
What
đội nào
team?
cơ, tên
What
này
the
nói
hell
cái quái
this
gì
guy
thế?
talking about?
Ronan
Ronald
cười
laughed
nhẹ mà
softly
nói
and
tiếp,
continued.
sao
Why
nào,
doesn't it seem
có
like
vẻ
you
các
haven't
người
heard?
vẫn chưa nghe tin nhỉ? Anh
He
tự tin
confidently
gác
put the
thanh
sword
kiếm
on
lên
his
vai đầy
shoulders
ngạo nghễ
arrogantly.
mà tiếp
Keep
tục lừa
fooling
bọn
them.
họ. Tôi
I'm
là
the
chó
youngest
săn
of the
trẻ tuổi
Damas.
nhất tới từ chi phái Damas,
Ayorat.
Ahayut. Nhóm
When they
bọn
heard
chúng
that,
nghe vậy
they
thì
jumped
nhảy
from
từ
the
trên
tree.
cây xuống
I
đứng
stood
trước
in
mặt
front of
Ronan để
Ronan
chất
to
vấn.
question him.
Ngươi
You
thực sự
really
là
are a
chó săn
dog.
sao? Anh
He
vô
calmly
cùng bình
replied
tĩnh
to
trả
him.
lời gã không
Not
những
only
thế còn
does that
khiến
make
gã
him
lúng túng.
confused.
Đúng
That's
thế,
right.
làm
Why
sao?
don't you believe
Không tin
me?
tôi à?
The
Tên tóc tím
purple-haired
bị
man, he
anh vặn
twisted
ngược lại
back,
tức
shouted
giận hét.
angrily.
Làm
How
sao
can you
tin được
believe
một
a
tên
boy
nhóc
like
như
you
ngươi
is a
lại là
hound?
chó săn chứ?
Yeah.
Nếu
If you
người
say
nói
you're
mình
from a
đến từ
lower
chi phái
faction,
cấp thấp
I
ta còn
believe you.
tin. Ronan
Ronan
nghe
listened
lời
to
tràn
his
ngập
doubts.
nghi vấn của gã cũng không
They
trở
don't
nên
lose
mất
their
bình tĩnh
temper.
nói tiếp. Nếu
If you
không
don't
tin tôi,
believe me,
vậy
why
sao
don't
các
you
ngươi
ask
không
the
hỏi
Volk of
sói
your
của chi
tribe?
phái mình ấy? Mà
That I
tôi
really
khuyên thật.
recommend.
Suy
My
bụng
stomach
ta
is
ra bụng
broken.
người, là thói
That's a
quen
bad
xấu đấy
habit,
anh trai
you
chó hoang
bastard.
ạ. Ronan
Ronan
nở
gave
nụ
a
cười
very
vô cùng gợi
evocative
đòn
smile,
khiến người
make
khác
others
nhìn
look
mà khó chịu
uncomfortable,
như
as
bị khiêu
provoked
khích
and
và khinh
despised.
thường.
The
Thật
most
đáng thương
pathetic
nhất trên
thing in
đời,
the world,
lời
your
nói mỉa mai
sarcastic
của anh
words
đã
have
thành công chọc
successfully
tức
possessed
tên
the
chỉ huy
purple-haired
tóc tím,
commander,
làm
made
gương
his
mặt
face
gã
look
ta trở
crooked,
nên vặn vẹo, cắn
bite
chặt
his
răng
teeth to
kìm nén
suppress
cơn
the
tức
anger
giận
in
trong
his
lòng.
heart.
Gã cũng không
It's
dễ
not
dàng
easy to
để
put
bản thuận chịu
yourself
sự
up to
khiêu
this
khích này,
provocation, to
tiến tới
grab
nắm
Ronan's
cổ áo
collar and
Ronan
curse
mà
the
chửi,
son of a bitch.
tên nhãi khốn nạn, sao
How
mày
dare you
dám sỉ
insult
nhục
me?
tao?
He
Gã đe
threatens you
dọa
with
anh,
wanting me to
muốn
cut
tao
off
chặt
your
đứt tứ
limbs.
chi mày ra không? Ronan
Ronan
không
is
hề
not
sợ hãi,
afraid.
ngược
On
lại
the
cảm thấy
contrary,
thích thú
more
hơn mà
interested.
tiếp
That
tục khiêu
continued to
khích.
provoke, oh my
Ôi
God.
trời, thói
Your habit
quen
of
chửi rủa
cursing
người ta
people
của
is
anh
just
cũng
as
tệ
bad.
không kém. Kết
The
cục của
outcome
người
of
như
such a
vậy thường
person
không có
is
hậu
usually
đâu.
not happy. A
Một thành
member of
viên
the
trong đội
team
đi
went to
đến
pat
vỗ
him on
vai
the
khuyên nhủ
shoulder.
gã, này bình
Hey,
tĩnh đi,
calm down.
chỉ
Just
vì hắn
because
là
he's a
trẻ
kid,
con mà nghi
I
ngờ hắn.
suspect him. He
Hắn ta
kept
tiếp tục
talking.
nói,
He
hắn
knew
biết tới
about
và
and
nhắc đến
mentioned the
hệ thống phân
Caliboro
cấp
hierarchy.
Caliboro nữa.
The
Thứ bậc
first
lần
is the
lượt đứng
Volk.
đầu là sói, tiếp đến
Next
là
is the
chó
hunting
săn,
dog,
và
and
cuối cùng
finally,
xếp thấp
the
nhất là
lowest
chó
is the
hoang.
wild dog.
Chỉ
Only
có
our
quân ta
troops
mới
know
biết
that.
rõ vậy thôi.
Ronan
Ronan
was
vẫn
still
như răng
laughing
cười
at him.
chọc tức gã, dù cho
Even
có
if you
đang
have
bị
a
dao
knife to
kề
your
sát
neck,
vào cổ có thể
you
nói
could
là
say
cận
it's close
kề
to
với
death.
cái chết. Hắn
He
ta lại
continued
tiếp
to
tục trấn
reassure.
an, cứ
Just
xác nhận
confirm with
lại
the
với đội
captain.
trưởng đã, nếu
If
hắn
he's
không
not
nói
lying,
dối, sau
I'm
này
going
ta
to
sẽ
have a
xảy ra
falling
bất
out with
hòa
the
với chi
Damas.
phái Damas.
I
Ta đã
told
bảo
you to
các
shut
người
up,
im lặng
keep a
mà canh
watch,
gác
and
và
always
luôn
be
trong
ready.
tư thế sẵn sàng cơ mà. Tên
The
đội
captain's
trưởng được
name is
nhắc tới lúc
mentioned
này
now,
cũng xuất
also
hiện từ
appeared
bụi
from the
cây trong
bushes in
rừng
the
ra,
forest of
trách
Blame
mắng
the
đám thuộc hạ.
subordinates.
Khi
When you
thấy
see
toàn
the
đội
whole
không
team
đứng
is
theo
not
lệnh mà còn
following,
có
also a
tên lạ
stranger
mặt
named
là Ronan
Ronan
ở
here.
đây, đang
He
bị
was
tên
being
tóc
held
tím
by the
nắm cổ
purple-haired
áo
man
nên
by
gã
his
ta lên
collar.
tiếng hỏi,
So he
có
asked, what
chuyện
the
quái
hell
quỷ
is
gì
going
vậy
on?
hả?
They
Bọn
all
chúng đồng
salute the
thanh hô
captain.
lớn chào hỏi, đội trưởng, người đội trưởng trong lời đám người họ là một tên đầu chọc vạm vỡ, với vô số vết sẹo trên cơ thể thậm chí cả đầu, chi phái đê mê sói, viêm.
The
Tên tóc tím
purple-haired
như
guy
tìm
found
thấy
a
vị cứu
savior
tinh
and
mà
let
thả
Ronan
Ronan
raw
ra,
go.
đúng
Just
lúc
in
lắm
time,
đội trưởng.
Captain. He
Gã
told
kể
me
lại cho
about
Viêm nghe
inflammation.
những gì
Listen to
mà
what
Ronan
Ronan
nói
told
với
them.
bọn chúng, tên
This
nhóc
kid
này
said.
nói.
The
Đám
people
thuộc hạ
around
xung
him
quanh
also
cũng
kept
không ngừng
talking.
bàn tán.
Ronan
Ronan đứng
stood
nghe
there
toàn bộ
listening
mà
to the
nghĩ,
whole thing
việc
and
sói
thought
tới
the
đây,
wolves were coming.
tức
That
là tất
means
cả
they're
bọn
all
chúng
here.
đều ở đây rồi nhỉ? Nghĩ
I
vậy
thought I
anh
laughed
bật
for an
cười một
hour.
tiếng.
The
Tên
name
Viêm
Viam
sau khi
after
nghe
hearing
toàn
the
bộ
whole
câu chuyện
story.
thì
I
cất
asked
tiếng
Ronan.
hỏi Ronan, này
Hey,
nhóc,
kid you are
ngươi là
or from
Ahayut
the
tới từ
Damas
chi
South
phái
faction?
Damas sao? Anh
You
cũng
are
bình
calm
tĩnh tiếp
too.
tục
Continue
niềm
to
nở
show
thể
off
hiện
your
tài năng
acting
diễn xuất
talent.
của mình. Vâng ạ.
Yes. He
Gã
kept
ta tiếp
saying,
tục nói,
why are
kỳ
you
thật,
here?
sao ngươi lại tới đây?
The
Việc
fact
dãy
that
núi
this
này
mountain
thuộc về
belongs to
Demir đã
Demir
được quyết
has been
rồi mà.
decided.
Ronan
Ronald's
mặt
face
không
didn't
biến
change
sắc,
color.
vẫn
He
giữ
kept
vẻ
that
mặt tươi
smiling
cười
face.
đó mà đáp. À vậy
Well,
sao?
I'm not
Tôi
sure
cũng không
why.
chắc lắm đâu. Vì tôi
Because I'm
không
not
phải
Aore.
Ahayut,
I am
vì
angry
lời
at
này
your
của anh
words.
chọc cho tức giận tới
So
mức
much
các tĩnh
so
mạch
that the
trên
veins
đầu
in the
nổi
head
lên
rise.
thốt. Sao cơ? Gã
And
ta
before
còn
he
chưa
knew
kịp
it,
định thần
Ronan
thì
came.
Ronan đã lao tới, nhẹ
Gently
nhàng vung
swinging
nhẹ
the
thanh
sword.
kiếm đã dễ
It's
dàng
easy for
khiến
the
những
masked
tên
man.
đeo mặt nạ bị tách rời
Separate
thành
people
hai
into
phần,
two parts.
máu
Fresh
tươi
blood
bắn tung tóe.
splashed.
Đến cả
All
những
the
tên nạn
victims
nhân bị
Ronan
Ronan
killed.
giết cũng
I
chưa
can't
kịp
even
hiểu chuyện gì
understand
đang
what's
xảy
going
ra.
on.
Anh
You
giết
killed
hết
them
tất
all.
cả chỉ
Just the
trừ lại
captain's
tên
name.
đội trưởng
The
Vium
king
và
and the
gã tóc
purple-haired
tím mà
man
bảo
told
bọn
them.
chúng,
I
tôi
just
chỉ
use a
dùng đùa
name
một
I
cái
know.
tên mình biết thôi. Hai
The two
tên
of
đó
them
khi
knew the
biết được
truth.
sự thật thì mỗi
Everyone
người
has
một
a
vẻ
face.
mặt,
The
gã tóc tím
purple-haired
thì
man
gương
turned
mặt
pale
tái
with
mét
fear.
vì sợ hãi, còn
And the
tên
name
Vium
Vium
thì
is
căng thẳng
attention
lẫn
and
tức dẫn đan
attention.
sen, tay
He
cũng
also
nắm
held
chặt
the
thanh
sword
kiếm
on his
đeo
side.
bên hông.
Ronan
Ronan tươi
came
cười phi
flying
tới,
with a smile
vung thanh
and
kiếm
swung
về
his
phía
sword towards
Vium,
the Vium.
dù
Even
sao
though
đấy cũng
Sao
là
is
cái
the
tên
best
hay
name to
nhất để
fake.
giả dạng,
To
là
be a
một tên
fucking
đi săn
poacher.
trộm khốn nạn mà.
That he had not
Gã
yet
ta chưa
resisted
kịp phản
or
kháng hay
withstood.
chống đỡ đã bị
His
thanh
head
kiếm
was
của
cut
anh
off by
chém
his
bay đầu.
sword.
Tên
The
tóc tím bị
purple-haired
tình
man was
cảnh này
threatened by
dọa
this
cho sững người,
situation.
gương
The
mặt
face
thì
is
ngờ nghệch,
stupid,
trong
and
tay
small
cầm
knife
lưỡi dao
blade
nhỏ
handle.
nhìn
Watch
chiếc
the
đầu
view fall.
Vium rơi xuống,
The
riêng gì
devil
gọi
called
gã
him.
ta, đội
Captain
trưởng.
Ronald handled.
Ronan xử lý tên đội
The
trưởng
captain's
xong
name
cũng
came
thản
out.
nhiên cất tiếng, này anh
Brother,
trai,
I didn't
chẳng
tell
phải
you
tôi
that.
đã nói với anh rồi sao, rằng
That your
kết cục
end
của
will be
anh
bad.
sẽ rất tệ hại. Bỗng
Suddenly
nhiên
the
đầu
finger
ngón
of
tay
the
của
hand,
bàn tay đang
holding
cầm
a
lưỡi
small
dao
knife
nhỏ
as
như
if
bị
rotten
thối
in the
giữa mà
middle. That's
tách lìa.
separate. The
Gã kinh sợ
terrified man
hét lên
screamed
đầy
in
đau đớn.
pain. The
Tên tóc tím
purple-haired
quỳ
man
xuống
knelt
đất
on the
mà ôm
ground
lấy
and
bàn
embraced
tay
his
của mình,
hand.
tay
My
tôi,
hand,
ngón
my
tay của
finger.
mình. Ronan
Ronald
cảm
was
thấy
upset.
khó chịu,
It's
nhức
a
đầu khi
headache
nghe
to
lời
hear
rên
his
rỉ
moaning.
của gã mà ra lệnh, cầm đi.
Shut up if you don't want
Này,
to get punched
nếu anh
here.
không muốn bị ăn đấm ở đây, bình
Calm
tĩnh
down.
ngay rồi cầm
Lay,
cái này đi.
take this. He
Anh thả
dropped a
một cuộn
piece of
giấy xuống
paper in
trước mặt
front of
gã
him.
tóc
Purple
tím đang
hair
vừa
is
tức
both
vừa khóc
angry
lóc
and
đau
crying in
đớn
pain,
nắm lấy
holding the
bàn tay
rotten
bị
hand
thối
in the
giữa
middle.
đang không
It's
ngừng run
constantly
lẩy bẩy.
shaking. Seven Ronan
Ronan
pointing
chỉ
hand
tay ra
commands.
lệnh, từ bây
I will
giờ,
write again from
anh
now
sẽ
on.
viết lại vị
The
trí của tất
location
cả
of all
các
the
chi phái
tribes I
mình
know.
biết.
He
Gã
knelt
quỳ
on the
xuống đất
ground
lắp
and
bắp
asked
hỏi,
why.
là sao? Có
There's
vấn
a
đề
problem
gì?
you don't want,
Anh
Sal.
không muốn sao?
He
Anh nghiêng
grinned
sang
his
cười
teeth,
tươi, đập bật
smashing
thanh
the sword
kiếm
in
trên
his
tay
hand
để
to
đe dọa.
intimidate.
Vậy
Then
thì
there's
chẳng
no
còn lý
reason to
do
keep
gì
you
phải
alive.
giữ mạng cho anh nữa. Ronan
Ronan
lúc
now
này trở
became
nên vô
very
cùng
scary
đáng
and
sợ mà
threatened
đe
him.
dọa gã
The
khiến tên tóc
purple-haired
tím
man
sợ
was
đổ mồ
afraid
hôi
of
hột.
sweating. The
Gã
meek
ngoan
man
ngoãn
made
làm
Theo
theo,
shiver.
run rẩy bảo, đừng,
Don't want me
muốn
to do
tôi làm gì
anything.
cũng được, nhưng
But I don't
tôi
have
không có
anything
gì
to
để
map.
vẽ bản đồ cả. Ronan bình thản đáp lại, anh kêu rên cái khỉ gì, tôi sẽ tạo cho anh cây bút. Ở ngay kia kìa, bên tay phải ấy, gương mặt gã đã chảy đầm đìa nước mắt, nước mũi, nhìn về phía Ronan chỉ vào thứ gọi là bút mà anh bảo chính là bàn tay bị đang chảy đầy máu của gã. Sau một khoảng thời gian, bản đồ đã được gã hoàn thành. Ronan nhìn bản đồ được vẽ bằng máu trong tay không thể ngớt lời khen ngợi. Tốt lắm, tôi thấy anh vẽ rất đẹp, quả là tài năng. Sắc mặt gã tóc tím trở nên tái xanh, hốc hác hẳn, không dám hỗn láo với anh như trước. Cảm ơn cậu. Vậy, như đã hứa, cậu sẽ tha cho tôi phải không? Ronan cất tờ bản đồ vào trong túi mát trả lời gã. Chuyện đó à? Một lưỡi kiếm vụt từ trên đầu gã xuống khiến cho gã còn chưa kịp hiểu chuyện gì đang diễn ra. Mà cơ thể tên tóc tím lúc này đã bị Ronan chém đứt thành hai nửa. Gương mặt sắc lạnh, khát máu bị bắn máu tanh từ cơ thể gã mà tiếp tục trả lời. Dĩ nhiên là không rồi. Sau khi tiêu diệt đám người của hội Caliboro thì trời cũng là lúc hoàng hôn. Tiếng chim bay trên bầu trời phá tan bầu không khí yên tĩnh trong khu rừng. Asel bám vào một thân cây mà thở hổn hển, gương mặt tím tái. Ronan đứng đằng sau nhắc nhở, đừng có làm quá vậy chứ. Anh có chuyện mà phàn nàn. Tôi đã nói cậu chuẩn bị tinh thần rồi mà. Asel cũng buồn bã nhận lỗi. Xin lỗi. Cậu cất tiếng hỏi, nhưng như vậy thật sự có chút hơi quá. Thật sự toàn bộ chuyện này, vừa nói Asel vừa nhìn hướng về phía xác chết động vật nằm chồng chất. Điều do Caliboro làm ra sao? Trước mặt hai người họ lúc này là vô số xác chết bị hội Caliboro săn bắt nằm la liệt. Ronan đáp lại, tôi đã nói lúc trước rồi, để chúng sống chính là một tội ác. Asel vẫn cảm thấy bất an lắp bắp nói, nhưng mà anh trấn an rồi quay lưng rời đi. Đừng lo, chúng đều là những kẻ bị truy nã, cần phải bị giết chết. Ronan đi mà trong đầu vẫn còn nhiều suy tư, dẫu sao thì. Rồi trong chốc lát anh lại nghĩ tới vị giáo sư động vật học là người sư tử kia. Nếu giáo sư Karen thấy được cảnh này, chắc hẳn ông ấy sẽ buồn lắm đây. Ronan bảo Asel, giờ chúng ta quay về thôi nhỉ. Đột nhiên trong chiếc túi đựng quả trứng của vị giáo sư có động tĩnh. Anh bị sự lung lanh của nó thu hút, quay đầu xuống nhìn. Gì thế? Ronan không hiểu sao quả trứng lại như vậy, bèn mở túi lôi quả trứng ra. Sao đột nhiên thứ này lại? Asel như bị thứ gì làm cho chú ý mà nhìn chăm chú rồi gọi tên anh, Ronan. Cậu có vẻ như gặp thứ gì đó vô cùng đáng sợ, khiến ngón tay chỉ về hướng đó run rẩy. Đó là gương mặt Asel tím tái, toàn thân run bần bật. Ronan nãy giờ chỉ chú ý tới quả trứng, không hiểu chuyện gì xảy ra thì hỏi lại, gì cơ? Anh cũng bị kinh ngạc khi nhìn thấy cảnh tượng mà Asel chỉ. Máu của các động vật bị giết không hiểu sao lại bay lên không trung. Đến cả người được sống lại như Ronan cũng là lần đầu tiên thấy, chưa từng nhìn qua trường hợp này. Lúc đầu những giọt máu nhỏ bay lên rồi dần dần tạo thành vũng máu to hơn, cuối cùng một biển máu khổng lồ xuất hiện. Asel bị dọa cho mặt cắt không còn giọt máu, đầy kinh hãi mà hét lớn. Ronan cũng không kém phần ngạc nhiên nhưng cố gắng giữ bình tĩnh. Tay đã đặt sẵn vào kiếm đề phòng có thứ gì xuất hiện tấn công, miệng thì không ngừng chửi, chết tiệt, cái thứ quái quỷ gì đây? Trong phút sơ sảnh, anh không may thả tay đánh rơi quả trứng. Ronan kinh ngạc phát hiện quả trứng bỗng tỏa ra luồng ánh sáng tím đầy mạnh mẽ. Hơn nữa, nó còn bay vào giữa biển máu đó và anh dần nhận ra quả trứng đang hấp thụ chỗ máu này sao? Asel sợ hãi khi lần đầu tiên rơi vào hoàn cảnh này, hỏi Ronan, chuyện này là sao? Anh vẫn giữ được trạng thái bình tĩnh bảo, tôi cũng có biết đâu mà hỏi, đồ ngốc. Không, tôi biết một điều đấy, anh nở nụ cười đầy thích thú. Dù bên trong quả trứng này là thứ gì đi nữa, thì thứ đó chắc chắn không hề tầm thường đâu. Quả trứng tím thì mạnh mẽ hấp thụ toàn bộ biển máu đó. Quả trứng không ngần ngại hấp thụ hết sạch tất cả máu. Asel thấy nó đã ngừng lắp bắp hỏi, kết thúc rồi à? Ronan cũng cùng quan điểm với cậu, có vẻ thế. Nhưng xem ra không có thay đổi gì mấy, quả trứng vẫn không có chút gì thay đổi, từ màu sắc tới vẻ bề ngoài, bỗng nhiên nó bắt đầu nứt ra. Quả trứng tự nứt vỡ, có vẻ như nó sắp nở rồi. Asel ngạc nhiên thốt lên, quả trứng nứt ra kìa. Ronan cũng dự đoán, có vẻ như nó sắp nở rồi. Anh reo hò thích thú, tuyệt, đến lúc nó thử xem nó là thứ gì rồi, để xem trông nó có đáng giá không nào. Bỗng có thứ gì đó từ trong quả trứng lao vút vào thẳng mặt Ronan khiến anh không kịp phản ứng. Asel ở bên cạnh cũng bị dọa cho kinh hãi mà hét to, Ronan, anh đau điếng tới cắn chặt răng, xoa vết thương trên mũi, chuyện gì thế? Đây là Ronan nhìn hình dáng của con thú được nở qua trứng liền thốt lên, mộng điều sao? Nó mang trên mình màu tím giống như màu quả trứng, 4 chiếc cánh sau lưng bay lơ lửng trên không trung, giống như thú lai chim và rồng. Anh nhìn mộng điều tới nỗi đờ người, nhưng dù nhìn như thế nào đi nữa thì vẫn chẳng giống chim chút nào cả. Tâm trạng Asel không khác Ronan là mấy mà đánh giá nó, trông giống một con rồng hơn nhỉ. Anh chỉ vào nó mà quay sang hỏi Asel, cậu cũng nghĩ vậy à? Cậu có suy nghĩ tương tự mà khẳng định, phải, trông nó tương tự với những gì tôi thấy trong sách. Ronan vẫn trong trạng thái hoang mang mà nghĩ, nó hấp thụ mana từ chỗ quái nào mà lại nở ra cái giống này nhỉ? Một con rồng sao? Nhưng anh vẫn đưa tay ra vuốt ve nó. Mộng điều cũng rất thân thiện và ngoan ngoãn mà vừa quýt tay của Ronan làm cho anh không thể không khen ngợi. Trông mày dễ thương phết, nó như hiểu tiếng người kêu lên một tiếng. Nhưng không vì sự đáng yêu của nó mà tha thứ cho hành vi quá khích làm cho Ronan bị thương trên mũi. Anh tức giận trách móc, nhưng cách mày chào mừng có chút thái quá đấy, mày đâm thẳng vào sống mũi tao đây này. Mộng điệu hiểu ý của Ronan và bắt đầu thi triển ma pháp của mình. Sử dụng phép thuật về phía anh, bỗng chốc vết thương trên sống mũi lập tức lành lại và biến mất không một dấu vết. Ronan rất ngạc nhiên nói, vết thương của mình sao biến mất rồi? Axel vô cùng ngưỡng mộ đáp, có vẻ như đứa nhóc này còn biết sử dụng ma pháp trị liệu nữa đấy. Cậu dường như rất thích mộng điệu, không ngớt lời khen ngợi, dễ thương quá. Hơn nữa, nó trông có vẻ rất thích cậu đấy nhỉ, Ronan. Mộng điệu lúc này cũng bay tới mà quấy quýt má của anh, khiến Ronan muốn giận nó cũng không giận nổi. Trời đất, đứa nhóc này, nó sở hữu nhiều năng lực hơn tôi tưởng nữa. Axel vui vẻ đề xuất, đặt tên cho nó đi, Ronan. Chúng ta không thể cứ gọi nó là mộng điệu được. Ronan suy nghĩ rồi thấy điều này cũng khá hợp lý. Cũng đúng nhỉ. Không biết đặt tên nào mới hay đây. Đột nhiên mộng điệu nhanh nhạy cảm thấy có điều bất thường xung quanh. Nó bắt đầu nhìn chằm chằm và cảm nhận kỹ về hướng nào đó. Rồi mộng điệu hét lên một tiếng liền lao vút nhanh đi. Axel vẫn đang bàn luận về tên cho nó, không hiểu chuyện gì xảy ra khiến nó như vậy. Gì thế? Đột nhiên nó bay đi đâu vậy? Ronan đứng khoanh tay thản nhiên trả lời, dường như chính anh cũng nhận ra sự xuất hiện của kẻ đó. Cậu không nhận ra à? Nó cảm nhận được sự hiện diện của tên kia rồi. Xa xa trong khu rừng có tiếng bước chân chạy vội vã. Một kẻ lạ mặt đội mũ trùm kín đầu chạy trốn thật nhanh như đang có thứ gì đe dọa hắn. Kẻ đó là phân bộ Demir, người truyền tin Banrus. Cậu ta vừa chạy thầm than trong đầu. Gì vậy chứ? Cái quái gì vậy chứ? Banrus nhớ lại vừa nãy khi trở về bắt gặp hình ảnh xác chết của những người trong hội nằm la liệt. Mình chỉ vừa đi truyền tin thôi mà. Sao mọi người đã chết cả rồi? Cậu ta lần theo dấu vết đến nơi của Ronan và Axel đứng. Vừa hay bắt gặp biển máu được tạo ra mà lòng hoảng hốt hãi hùng. Và cái biển máu vừa rồi là cái quái gì? Có vẻ như Banrus nhận thấy mình sắp gặp nguy hiểm liền xoay người trốn chạy. Chuyện gì đang diễn ra vậy? Nhìn kỹ hơn, đó là mộng điệu sinh ra từ quả trứng đang lao vút về phía cậu ta, làm hai mắt Banrus như muốn lòi ra, sợ hãi bỏ chạy. Đang chạy cùng với nhưng suy nghĩ rối loạn trong đầu làm cậu ta bị mất tập trung, không để ý rễ cây nên đã bị vấp vào. Banrus ngã sóng xoài ra đất, kêu lên một tiếng đau nhói. Cậu ta xoay người lại đã thấy mộng điệu bay tới sử dụng phép thuật với mình. Banrus đau nhức tới chảy nước mắt hét lên cầu cứu, máu của mình sao? Cứu tôi với. Tiếng bước chân từ từ rõ ràng hơn. Một tiếng nói ra lệnh đã khiến mộng điệu ngưng hành động của mình, dừng lại. Đó chính là lời của Ronan. Anh cùng Axel đi tới chỗ của họ và nói, đủ rồi Sita, cứ như vậy thì hắn chết mất. Cậu tò mò cất tiếng hỏi, Sita, là tên của nó đấy à? Ronan không phủ nhận, bình tĩnh chơi đùa với Sita đang đậu trên tay anh. Phải, tôi đã có sẵn cái tên này trong đầu rồi. Ronan mặc kệ sự xuất hiện của Banrus mà chỉ lo đùa giỡn với nó. Thấy sao nào, mày thích tên đó không? Banrus ngồi bệt xuống đất nhìn anh há hốc miệng nghĩ, thằng nhóc này là... Hắn không phải là cái gã lúc trước sao? Hắn là chủ nhân của con quái vật đó à? Rốt cuộc hắn là ai? Một tiếng gọi vang lên cắt ngang dòng suy nghĩ của cậu ta. Này! Ronan hỏi thăm tình hình của Banrus. Ngươi ổn không đấy, Banrus? Cậu ta giật thót mình trả lời. Gì cơ? À vâng. Banrus ngoan ngoãn quỳ trên đất. Nhờ cậu mà tôi vẫn còn sống. Cảm ơn, nhưng mà sao cậu lại biết tên tôi? Trong chớp mắt một thanh kiếm của Ronan được kề sát lên cổ cậu ta mà dạ. Ngươi không cần phải biết chuyện đó. Banrus sợ sệt không dám cử động một chút dù chỉ là nhỏ nhất. Banrus là một thành viên trong đội an ninh ở kiếp trước của Ronan. Anh vẫn nhớ rất kỹ cậu ta rồi nói tiếp. Không ngờ tôi lại gặp được cậu ở đây đấy. Dù sao thì hân hạnh được gặp. Việc săn trộm có suôn sẻ không? Quý ngài huyết khuyển Caliboro lắm lời. Lời của Ronan vừa dứt, Banrus bất ngờ mà thốt lên. Gì cơ? Huyết khuyển sao? Cậu ta lúng túng, nhỏ giọng giải thích. Tôi chỉ là một người đưa tin thôi mà. Ronan cũng nhớ ra hiện tại đã khác. Không nhịn được mà châm chọc. Thứ hạng của ngươi vẫn thấp như vậy à? Mà cũng ổn thôi, vì có việc mà ta cần ngươi làm đây. Là về thông tin của người đang có. Chuyện này không phải là ta đang nhờ vào ngươi đâu. Ronan nở nụ cười danh mãnh. Chớp 16, lúc này khi trở về thủ đô, trời cũng đã sập tối, ánh trăng sáng tỏa khắp vùng đất này. Ronan mới tung hứng những đồng xu trên tay mà nói, được lắm. Anh nắm chắc những đồng xu lại mà cảm thán, được hơn tôi nghĩ đấy. Axel bên cạnh cũng reo lên vui mừng, tôi đồng ý, bất ngờ thật. Ronan giơ cao bình nước lên, cười tới nỗi ngoác ra cả mang tai rồi nói, cậu nói nước suối cũng biến thành vàng, lúc cậu lấy chúng tôi còn bối rối lắm. Nhưng ông Duon vừa cầm bình nước liền mà thẳng thốt, nhưng cha Maria thế mà, lại trả giá cao như thế. Axel quay sang vui mừng nói, nhờ chú ấy mà giờ chúng ta không cần lo về tiền nữa rồi nhỉ. Ronan đáp lại, chúng ta mắc nợ giáo sư Varen nhiều quá rồi. Cả hai cùng đến cửa phòng Varen thì thấy trước cửa treo một bảng có ghi, đi công tác, nên mới đến đây để cảm ơn thầy ấy với cho thầy xem Sita, nhưng thầy ấy lại đi công tác rồi, tiếc quá. Ronan nhớ lại lúc mình đang đe dọa tên Banrus mà nghĩ, nhưng kèm với công việc mình giao cho Banrus, bản đồ mình nhận được từ tên chó săn đó không chỉ là một cử chỉ đơn giản. Nhớ lại lúc đó, Banrus sợ hãi đến mức òa khóc lên mà van xin, tha cho ta đi, bắt ta làm gì cũng được. Ronan nở một nụ cười danh mãnh mà nghĩ, mình khiến hắn sợ đến mức hắn không dám có âm mưu gì khác hết. Axel mới quay sang hỏi, cậu muốn làm gì với số tiền đó hả? Ronan, hạng 2 được miễn học phí và còn nhận được phí hỗ trợ, nên cậu có cần trả gì nhiều đâu. Cậu hỏi tiếp, cậu có muốn làm gì không? Ronan mới sờ cằm ngẫm nghĩ, thứ tôi muốn làm sao? Đứng hồi lâu, anh mới nhận ra, giờ mới nhớ lễ chào đón sắp đến rồi. Vài ngày sau, tại trại xe ngựa thành phố Valon, một người đàn ông mở cửa xe mà kính cẩn nói, đã đến nơi rồi ạ. Thưa tiểu thư, cô nàng bên trong cũng đáp lại, vâng, cảm ơn. Thì ra là Iroh, vừa bước ra ngoài nhìn xung quanh cô cảm thán, wow, ra đây là thành phố thủ đô Valon. Cô đứng ra đường, gió tung bay phấp phới tóc và váy cô, không kìm được mà thốt lên, đẹp quá. Ronan đã đứng đợi sẵn mà hỏi, chắc chị mệt lắm nhỉ? Thấy em trai mình Iroh vui vẻ la lên, Ronan. Anh mới liền hỏi thăm, lúc em đi không có gì xảy ra đâu nhỉ? Iroh thì vội đáp lại, chị phải là người hỏi câu đó chứ. Nhớ lại lúc nãy tự nhiên đâu ra xuất hiện nguyên cỗ xe ngựa vàng lộng lẫy, cùng người phục vụ bước ra kính cẩn. Em trai cô đã gửi xe đến, làm Iroh lúc đó há hốc mồm ngạc nhiên. Cô liền mắng lại Ronan, em có biết chị kinh ngạc thế nào khi cỗ xe ngựa lộng lẫy này xuất hiện trước nhà không? Sao có thể chứ? Em làm gì có tiền? Iroh tiến tới bóp lấy mặt Ronan mà đầy lo lắng hỏi, và sao em gầy thế? Em có ăn cơm đàng hoàng không? Anh mới đáp lại, đừng lo, em ăn nhiều lắm. Adesan cũng an tâm đáp lại, vậy là được rồi. Sau đó cô chú ý đến Sita mà thốt lên, hả, ai đây? Dễ thương quá. Nó thấy cô khen thì giơ đôi cánh lên mà vui vẻ. Ronan liền giải thích, đây là Sita, vì vài chuyện nên nó bắt đầu sống với em. Dứt lời, anh vội kéo tay Adesan mà thúc giục, nhưng chị ơi, chúng ta phải nhanh lên, không có thời gian đâu. Cô bối rối, hả, nhanh lên á, chúng ta đi đâu? Chưa kịp để cô hỏi xong, Ronan liền ngắt lời giải thích, lúc vào học viện em sẽ rất bận trong một thời gian, nên em muốn làm những việc này trước, em nhất định phải làm việc này. Hai người liền cùng nhau đến một cửa hàng quần áo đâu đó trên khu phố. Bên trong, Adesan ngại ngùng lắp bắp, Ronan. Cô liền nói, chị biết dạo này em kiếm được nhiều tiền, chị cũng biết là em có học bổng nên có thể thoải mái hơn. Ronan không quan tâm cô nói gì, chỉ chống cằm mà ngắm nghía, đúng là chị mặc gì cũng được. Adesan đã được một bộ đầm dài màu vàng vô cùng xinh xắn, y hệt một cô tiểu thư, nhưng cô lo lắng nói, nhưng mà, thế này không phải là hơi đắt quá sao? Bên này, Raquel thì mải mê hỏi chuyện nhân viên cửa hàng, mấy cái này chuyển về cho tôi được hết đúng không? Ông nhân viên vui vẻ đáp, tất nhiên ạ. Adesan quay sang nhìn cái đống hộp đựng quần áo mà anh đã mua thì liền chất vấn, nhiều thế này á? Ronan khoác chân mà bình thản nói, cũng đâu nhiều lắm đâu ạ, chị đã chịu rất nhiều cực khổ mà. Rồi anh nghiêm giọng nói, đến lúc em nuôi chị rồi. Nghe thằng em trai bé bỏng của mình nói vậy, Adesan bất giác đưa tay lên miệng thẳng thốt. Mắt cô rưng rưng mà thầm nghĩ, em trai chị, em đã lớn thế này từ khi nào chứ? Adesan lao ra vung hai tay lên trời mà tự hào hô to, mọi người nhìn này, em trai tôi ngoan quá, làm Ronan đỡ không kịp luôn trời. Thật là, nhân viên cửa hàng thấy thế thì tươi cười, họ hòa thuận quá ha. Ông lão bên cạnh cũng đáp lại, đúng vậy. Ronan liền la lên, xong rồi thì đi thôi. Adesan vui vẻ trả lời, được. Cô chạy theo anh mà hào hứng hỏi, giờ chúng ta đi đâu? Ronan từ tốn đáp, đi xem bên xưởng nhé. Vài hôm trước kiếm của em bị hư vì một tên điên. Vừa mở cửa ra, Chili Friend đã đứng bên ngoài chờ sẵn, cuối cùng cũng xong rồi à. Anh ta liếc mắt sang nói, Ronan. Từ đâu cái tên này chui ra làm Ronan cùng con Sita giật mình hét ầm cả lên. Anh rụt người lại mà lên giọng chất vấn, hả, sao cậu lại chui ra từ trong đó? Bộ theo dõi tôi hả? Chili Friend bình tĩnh đáp, tôi đến lấy thanh kiếm mới, kiếm tôi dùng bị cậu làm hỏng rồi. Anh ta sắc lạnh mà nói, rồi tình cờ thấy cậu nên tôi đứng đợi thôi, nên đừng có buộc tội tôi như thế. Ronan không vừa gì mà xéo sắc đáp lại, thế là theo dõi đấy đồ khốn, hả, bị hỏng hả? Anh liền rút cây kiếm sáng bóng của mình ra mà bực bội nói, nhìn kiếm tôi cậu còn dám nói vậy không hả? Ai mới là người có lỗi đây? Ronan hừng hực tức giận ghé sát lại Chili Friend mà đe dọa, cậu có muốn tôi cho cậu xem bị hỏng là như thế nào không? Cậu ta cũng rút ra đối đáp lại không cả nể, không tồi đâu. Iroh liền xông ra chắn ngang hai con người hiếu chiến này mà ra sức ngăn cản, không được đâu, Ronan, chị đã bảo em là không được nói tục mà. Ronan liền luống cuống giải thích, chờ chút, chị hiểu lầm rồi, là vì tên khốn này. Iroh ngắt lời lên giọng nghiêm khắc, em cãi chị đấy hả? Thấy vậy Chili Friend thầm nghĩ, hả, chị á? Cô liền đưa tay lên mặt mà thành khẩn nói, tôi rất xin lỗi, dù em tôi ăn nói như thế nhưng nó ngoan lắm. Chili Friend, hậu duệ gia tộc Grancia danh giá và nhân tài đang lên của đế quốc, đã nhìn tình huống này như vậy. Iroh chạm tay lên gương mặt đỏ ửng xinh đẹp mà điêu dàng nói, cậu đã rất sốc phải không? Chili Friend nhìn chằm chằm cô mà ngại ngùng đỏ bừng mặt, cậu ta thấy một nữ thần. Iroh chắp tay cúi đầu khẩn khoản, là do tôi không dạy dỗ nó đàng hoàng, hãy tha lỗi cho em tôi. Cậu ta nghe thế lúng túng đáp lại, hả, không, tôi chỉ. Chili Friend hùng dũng trên chiến trường mọi khi bây giờ lại ngại ngùng nhút nhát trước một quý cô xinh đẹp. Cậu ta đặt tay lên vai tỏ vẻ hối lỗi mà từ tốn nói, không, đều là do tôi thiếu chu toàn, không phải lỗi của tiểu thư đây. Rồi Chili Friend ra vẻ cao thượng tiếp tục nói, mọi thứ đều là do tôi, nên xin cô hãy an tâm. Iroh chắp hai tay lại vui mừng, Ôi trời, thật sao, cậu thật tốt bụng. Rồi cô nắm chặt hai bàn tay cậu ta lại mà cảm kích nói, Ronan nó bạn như cậu, tôi mừng quá. Ronan đừng từ xa nhìn hai người cứ nói qua lại, Iroh liền vui vẻ nhờ chiếu cố, xin hãy chăm sóc em trai tôi nhé. Chiliephen ngại ngùng đáp lại, tất nhiên rồi. Ronan thấy thế hơi ngạc nhiên. Chiliephen bối rối túm ngược lại cố gắng bình tĩnh nói tiếp, thì tôi sẽ bồi thường cho kiếm của cậu ấy, giờ tôi không mang theo vàng. Rồi cậu ta móc ra một hình tròn vàng lớn cỡ bằng bàn tay rồi nói, nên xin hãy nhận lấy thứ này, đây là chứng minh thân phận của gia tộc tôi. Thấy Iroh cầm lấy cái cục đó mà vô cùng tươi tắn, Chiliephen nói tiếp, có thể dùng mọi nơi trong đế quốc. Ronan nhìn thấy thì hết hồn la lên, hả? Rồi anh hét lên bảo, này, cậu có biết đưa cái cho chị ấy có nghĩa là sao? Chiliephen đầy điển trai mà ôn tồn nói, nếu cậu muốn mua kiếm, thì hãy đến lò rèn ở phía tây phố này, đó là nơi có lịch sử 500 năm, nên dân thường rất khó vào được, nhưng cầm cái đó thì có thể vào. Rồi cậu ta ngại ngùng bỏ đi không quên nói thêm, vậy mong cậu có được một thanh kiếm tốt. Ronan thầm nghĩ trong đầu, tên điên đó, có biết mình đang làm gì không vậy? Thấy chị gái mình đang ngắm nghĩa cái vật hình tròn đó mà nghĩ ngợi, cầm cái đó, có thể mua cả một ngôi làng đấy. Anh nhìn sang bóng dáng run rẩy giả vờ vội vã rời đi của Chiliephen mà suy tư, đó thật sự là kiếm thánh Chiliephen, mình biết không? Thấm thoát trôi qua đã đến ngày hôm sau, trời trong xanh vô cùng. Tại chính diện sân trường học đang diễn ra một buổi lễ, đó là lễ chào đón học viện Philion. Grava đang đứng trên bục trước mọi người mà cất tiếng nói, rất vui được gặp các em, học sinh khóa 787. Rồi ông ấy tự tin giới thiệu, ta là hiệu trưởng học viện Philion, Grava Gradier. Bên dưới còn có Ronan, Maria và Asel cũng có mặt tham dự. Grava tiếp tục nói, như các em đã biết, thì tất cả các em đã vượt qua kỳ thi với kỹ năng xuất sắc và đã chứng minh được tiềm năng của mình khi tài năng vô hạn của các em và nền giáo dục cấp cao của Philion hòa lại với nhau. Ông vui vẻ nói tiếp, ta tin rằng các em sẽ được ghi danh vào lịch sử đế quốc. Rồi Grava liền chốt lại câu cuối, chúc mừng tất cả các em, khóa 787. Ronan đứng dưới nghe nãy giờ mà ngáp lên ngáp xuống chán nản, buồn ngủ quá. Nhìn sang Iroh đang dùng khăn tay lau đi nước mắt, anh cũng đành, thôi, cũng không tệ lắm, chị thích là được rồi. Grava lại lên tiếng, giờ thì, rồi ông búng tay một cái tách. Bỗng nhiên xung quanh mọi người xuất hiện luồng ánh sáng cầu vồng ma mị khiến ai nấy đều rất bất ngờ. Asel mới kêu lên, Ronan. Phía bên kia những người khác cũng hốt hoảng chỉ tay vào luồng sáng đó rồi nói, hả, bên kia kìa. Nhìn lên bục trung tâm, xuất hiện một bức tường kính vô hình nhưng bị đập nát tại một điểm, có người hét lên, bầu trời tan vỡ rồi. Từ vết nứt lóe lên một nguồn ánh sáng tím kỳ lạ. Bỗng nhiên, từ trường học tất cả mọi người đều được dịch chuyển sang một đấu trường. Có một tiếng nói hào hứng phát ra từ trên cao, rất vui được gặp các em năm nhất. Ronan nhìn lên cao không khỏi thán phục, gì đây, ông ta dịch chuyển cả một sân rộng thế, chỉ bằng một cú búng tay há. Grava bây giờ điềm đạm lên tiếng, được rồi, giờ là tiêu điểm của lễ chào đón của Philion, hãy bắt đầu buổi họp mặt giữa các khóa nào. Cuối cùng cũng đến ngày diễn ra sự kiện Senior Junior Meeting. Sự kiện này là cuộc gặp mặt được tổ chức giữa năm nhất và các học sinh năm 2, địa điểm là nơi đầu tiên họ gặp nhau. Quá trình diễn ra khá căng thẳng, nó còn là một sự kiện đặc biệt ở Philion. Cuộc chiến đó được miêu tả là khi hai học sinh cao điểm nhất kỳ thi đầu vào đứng ra đại diện cho năm nhất, được chỉ định ghép với 4 người giỏi nhất năm 2. Những người năm 2 các em ấy đã có phong cách chiến đấu riêng. Họ sẽ lần lượt một đấu một. Hiệu trưởng Grava đứng trên bục mà hào hứng chia sẻ, ý nghĩa của sự kiện này có liên quan mật thiết tới các giáo viên ở Philion. Giữa khán đài sân khấu, ông tiếp tục trình bày, nó gia tăng mối quan hệ giữa các lớp trên với các học sinh năm nhất để họ có thể học hỏi về sở trường sở đoàn của nhau. Tôi tin rằng việc này sẽ bổ sung kiến thức cho các em, và việc đối chiến lần này cũng coi như là khởi đầu của việc học tập thực thụ. Những cuộc chiến đấu này đều mang tính giáo dục, và qua đó, đại diện của mỗi năm đều sẽ thể hiện được những bước tiến đầu tiên của mình trong học viện. Ông ấy tiếp tục nói thêm, đương nhiên, năm nhất sẽ được trao quyền lựa chọn đối thủ, và tất nhiên năm 2 cũng không thể từ bỏ khi đã được lựa chọn. Đây chỉ là một cuộc chiến để học hỏi mà thôi nên đừng cảm thấy áp lực nhé. Các đại diện năm nhất, cứ thoải mái đi. Thấy ông hiệu trưởng này cứ đứng nói liên thuyên nãy giờ, Ronan khó chịu bảo, chậc, ông ấy lại vòng vo rồi. Ông ấy nói vậy chỉ làm cho năm nhất hoang mang hơn thôi. Bên nhóm năm 2 thì gồm có một chàng trai tóc vàng, chuyên ngành võ thuật, học viên năm 2, hạng 1, Nasdo, một chàng trai có làn da rám nắng, trên mặt còn có vết sẹo, chuyên ngành võ thuật, học viên năm 2, hạng 2, Brom. Cậu ấy nhìn Ronan và Chiliephen mà nói lớn lên, hai đứa nó là hai đứa nổi tiếng nhất năm nay à? Ngoài ra còn hai người thuộc năm 2 nữa. Chàng trai tóc tím, chuyên ngành võ thuật, học viên năm 2, hạng 4, Karan, cô gái tóc tém màu cam trông rất cá tính, chuyên ngành võ thuật, học viên năm 2, hạng 3, Irina. Tiếp đó vang lên lời giới thiệu về nhóm thuộc năm nhất, tài năng hàng đầu của đế quốc, Chiliephen, và ngôi sao băng đã đánh bại cậu ấy trong bài kiểm tra thực hành, Ronan. Tên Karan liền lên giọng hối thúc, chậc, không nhịn nổi mất, tôi muốn nhanh chóng đánh với chúng quá. Nghe vậy Ronan ngã ngửa mà run rẩy, tiền bối anh nhìn cũng khó nhằn đây. Nhìn lên chị gái mình, Adesan đang chắp tay cầu nguyện cho mình. Ronan thực sự rất quyết tâm. Chậc, vì mọi chuyện đang đi có vẻ không đúng hướng đã định, nên mình có thể cho chị thấy rằng mình sẽ không dễ bị đánh đâu. Rồi anh nhắm mắt lại tập trung tính toán. Nếu mình có thể cho chị thấy sự kết hợp tuyệt vời của mình với cậu ta thì tốt. Một giọng nói xen vào cắt ngang luồng suy nghĩ của Ronan. Được rồi, năm nhất giờ có thể thoải mái chọn đối thủ cho mình. Rồi anh giơ tay muốn ý kiến với hiệu trưởng. Xin lỗi, nếu được, em có thể đưa ta một đề xuất được không ạ? Ông ấy hỏi, đề xuất hả? Rồi anh dõng dạc nói ra ý nghĩ của mình.